damage if he wants. And welcome. This is the Injustice 2 Pro Series presented by PlayStation 4, live at VSFighting 2017. Indeed, and we have quite possibly one of the most stacked European NetherRealm tournaments we've ever had this side of the world. Obviously, this is hot off Biennality, which just happened last week, and now just 7 days later we're here in Birmingham for VSFighting with much of the same competition, not exactly the same, but also some players that weren't able to make Biennality are here in Birmingham here. Both premier events back to back, and those points are important as well as that prize money, and overall, just seeing how is Europe doing so far in Injustice 2?
It's been a landmark experience for lots of these players, and Europe particularly, because we just had Biennality last week, this week being the UK event, meaning we've had world-class competition visiting European soil. And that's really never happened before, the exception being last year at Hyperspark when we had the Commandeur brothers and Tekken Master coming over for that and really giving the UK a taste at what, obviously, you know, aside Madzin and Foxy, of course, what top-level competition is all about. But now we have the likes of Slayer, Whiteboi, BioHazard. Like, we've got some good players that are looking to make top 8, but there's a lot of players here that want to keep them away from that.
I think it's a really good situation of where the scene is currently at, though, because one of the reasons we've been fortunate enough to have some of these guys around for the last couple of days. We've really been sort of chatting to them and getting their feelings on what is it like competing in Europe as opposed to North America. But a big part of it is, well, you know, we've seen a lot of Europeans regularly travel out to our events in North America. We want to be able to return the favor now and travel to them. Now, obviously, we've got Rogue, Slayer, Renegades, Whiteboi. You know, some of these really, you know, good esports sponsors that are now, you know, financially supporting these players to give them the opportunity to now travel and play against these players from all around the world. And here we are. I think our first game is going to be Rogue Slayer versus Ixy, Supergirl, most likely Superman or Black Adam, but could be one or the other.
Well, the patch has changed all three of these characters. You know, Supergirl is a lot better in this game now. She does a little bit more bang for a buck when it comes to damage. And Superman and Black Adam have had some of their damage cut. You know, I think particularly Superman, when he lands that Frost Breath, scales a little bit more heavily. Black Adam damage scales almost all the time. But we are going to go straight in. Superman and Supergirl Slayer versus Ixy. First hit is going to be really important, and it's going to go to Ixy immediately.
Wow, and there's that optimization using the background bounce to get as much damage as possible. Going to go towards corner pressure, so that's a nice chunk of life to have immediately.
Now, you're probably going to hear the crowd on the background for a lot of this. Ixy is a Birmingham boy, and VSFighting is indeed in Birmingham. Slayer pressing buttons. And now he's stuck in the corner.
And using that trait, just get a lot of chip damage. A strong life lead coming out from Ixy. Hasn't quite been able to buy yet, has now won. There's the patience coming out from Slayer, though. Not going to press too many buttons now. Has to be careful. Gets a nice forward two.
And he's going to even out the damage quite nicely. Drops the back three, or that would have been a potential reset either way. Lands another hit to the background bounce. Ixy's back to the wall, but with 2 bars a meter, he can totally take the round if he lands one hit at this stage.
Oh, there's the Reaver, the neutral jump, but doesn't get anything for it, unfortunately. There's good patience. Spends the bar to keep himself safe. Ixy playing this very patient at the moment. The air dashes collide. Nice down 2 anti-air.
Ixy likely to take this first round, spending all of his character power to do it. Great start.
But fortunately, if you do use your character power to get the round, you do have a few seconds just to sort of recharge in between with the cinematics. Now Slayer pot on the back foot, trying to work his way in. There's the air dash. Attempted whip punish from Ixy, but oh no, that's going to connect. That's going to be a nice opening.
It's quite an expensive read to make, but if you got the bar, that's a full combo. Here comes Ixy with the jump in. Nice conversion into a splat. And that's one of the differences. The back forward 3, the wake up punch is now a high. It no longer hits mid.
Ixy playing around that way. You can see him crouching a lot of situations now. The forward 2, always a threat. Ooh. There's that good jump in. Oh no, doesn't quite get the forward 2-3. Drops before it connects. There's the armor breaking properties of the trait. Gonna eat that up. That's gonna be a nice round coming out from Slayer.
I don't think that was actually a combo. I feel like Slayer, he's playing a little bit ropey right now. Anti-air.
Wow. I actually don't think we've seen anti-air Frost Breath quite like this before. Ixy quite starved for meter, but has plenty of character power left to go with. Oh! He walks straight into it. Doesn't quite combo though.
Here comes the pressure, the down 2 anti-air. Slayer has to use his wager. He's going to win it for free, but he's still not going to be in a great situation.
Still though, he's going to have to use some bar to get some health back, or he can hold on to it. He's got 1 bar, and this is Superman. If he can push Ixy to the corner, he can delete the life bar, but there's that down 2. Good anti-air coming up from Ixy. And again, that background bounce. Ixy has been getting so much mileage out of it.
This is looking to be game number 1 for Ixy, and he jumps into the Frost Breath. 1-0. Slayer starting off on the back foot. A big surprise, really.
I quite like the way Ixy is using that Frost Breath, though, because he's kind of sticking out at a range that Superman would normally want to go for a forward 2. So if he sticks out the Frost Breath and he forward 2, he's just going to go straight into it. And if he has the meter, that's going to be a full combo. That's going to be a good situation for Ixy to be in. There's the blocking. Oh! Not quite sure if Slayer meant to delay that, but
yeah, there's
again using that background bounce.
There is a couple of errors here from Slayer. I think he just really needs to sort of chill out and realize that he is one of the best players for a reason, you know?
Also, not trying to punish the Frost Breath, though. Slayer doesn't look quite as comfortable, but gets a nice combo potential there. Drops their follow-up, but it's going to get a nice reset out of it.
Yeah, pressing buttons out of that. That's a big punish just for doing that. Superman in many ways, I mean, he still hits like a truck. Oh, wow!
Oh, wow, yeah, that's actually a full combo.
That was expensive. That was an expensive 2-bar wake-up attack, but I mean, just look at the damage payout. She didn't do this damage before.
Not even the damage, though. Look at the positioning. We're out of the corner, but that's where Slayer wants to put him straight back. This is going to be a guaranteed life bar gone into corner pressure potential, but Supergirl does have good mobility, good options to stop him from coming in. Oh, wow, good read. That down one buffered into the scoop.
That was actually really smart. If he walked into it, the scoop was going to come out. If he stayed in the neutral, it wasn't going to hit at all. Wow! That was just weird.
This is a style of Supergirl we aren't really used to seeing. We're not really used to seeing Frost Breath used in this way, just to stop that advance, especially when you have the meter just to get this freeze.
But I think that's it. Ixie acknowledges that forward 2-3 is such a dangerous tool, but if the Frost Breath denies the advantage, I mean, it hits loads of times. Armor breaks as well, and wow, pressing buttons!
Oh, and there's the hit confirm into the tornado. There's the meter build, going to get 2 of those into corner, but there's the wager again. Slayer is going to win, but how much bar does he spend?
When you land that whirlwind, you've got enough time to put your controller down, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, dry your hands, come back, and you're still going to get the back 3 off that.
He helps keep hold of his bar though, so Slayer 2. There's a nice interrupt, that down 1. Slayer starting to adjust now.
I think the reset here was the damage that either Slayer's going to spend no meter here and it's going to be reset, but even the damage of this is going to be less than he was going to take from the combo. Ooh. There's the plus frames. Oh, lots of patience, but no, the whip punish comes through.
Only just built the bar to get this to Ixie. Paying attention to his bar, he still has trait. If he can get good opening here, he can delete this life bar.
Amazing, amazing last minute block from Slayer. And the air dash to go through, whiff punishes as well, gets the final hit. This could potentially be the game.
This is probably going to be enough. There's the background bounce. Slayer, yes, if he doesn't drop that, going to be the life bar for sure. Ties things up 1 apiece, but looking a lot more solid this time.
Oh yeah, definitely. That first game looked a little bit ropey and Slayer starting to wake up a bit, but Ixie, I mean, he is playing so well throughout this set. And again,
chases him
hit.
down. Yeah, takes it into the heavy as well. Just trying to position him. Doesn't want to get max damage there. I think Ixie just didn't want to drop it.
Either he didn't want to drop it or he expected to get the background bounce and just realized at the last minute he didn't have the space to do it.
Perhaps good blocks coming out from Slayer. No attempt to punish the breath of it again though.
They're down 2 again! Ixie's reads on it have been so on point. A nice block from the front.
Oh, and again, the interactable instant air dash forward. Good read from Slayer, thinking he was going to go for that. There's the recapture. Nice amount of damage coming through here for sure.
In some ways, I feel like now that the dash punch hits as a mid, it means that hitting that at the end of a combo is now not as likely because the hitbox isn't what it was before.
Oh, just going to background bounce, but drops it. Spends the bar, keep himself safe. Slayer calls out blocking low, turns it into the trait, and Ixie again with a life bar advantage.
Ixie's been consistently either not meter burning it and then pressing a button, or meter burning it and then catching him trying to challenge it afterwards.
Here's that neutral game though. Slayer does have those options with the lasers, but the trait being a free answer. Not very highly damaging, but definitely annoying to deal with on the way in. There's a nice forward 2, probably going to connect for a full combo here, but how much damage does he go for?
Yeah, the combo's not going to do it, but the setup afterwards. Wow, catches the laser! Any damage that Ixie does here is just going to be constellation damage. Tries to go for a teleport. I mean, I respect it. It's the first time he's tried to go for it, but Slayer not going to get caught sleeping there.
Oh wow, dash into down 1, Ixie. There's the brave stuff coming out. Only just in range for that background bounce too. Ixie knowing his spaces. I should say Legoland Jet for some reason signed up as that. What a story behind that.
Well, I'll ask him after the series, but this is another really good situation for Ixie. 2-1.
Oh wow, yeah, Ixie actually tries to spend a bar 2 to challenge how much health he's getting back.
Even though Supergirl from range doesn't do a huge amount of damage, if he can at least just challenge with little damage here and there, this is still going to be a great distance for him. Wow, pressing buttons again!
And there's the trait gone. Needs to try and build as much bar as possible. Does not have anything to go with.
Don't count out Slayer. This guy has made amazing comebacks on Sonic Fox, Theo, and the like.
There's that patience. Doesn't want to press too much. And there we go. Instant jump here, but doesn't get the confirm. The air dive is going to connect, but isn't close enough to the corner to get a full combo. There's the delay pressure. Oh no! Instant jump in. That may have been an execution error from Slayer, and it's going to cost him the game.
That was not what Slayer wanted. Absolutely. But it's going to be fully capitalized by Jet, who now only has to win 1 game, and Slayer might go into losers.
Now, are we going to see is this for a stage change, or is this for Black Adam? But Birmingham, you guys can probably hear it. This is Birmingham. Ixie is a Birmingham boy. His guys are here, backing him up, especially against this top player, Slayer, from America.
Well, I mean, Slayer's a master of many characters, and that's one of his greatest strengths. So when he's on the back foot, he can change if he needs to.
I mean, Slayer has played a ton of characters at a high level across multiple NetherRealm games. I mean, even in Injustice 2, right? He's got Superman, he's got Black Adam, he's got Aquaman. He really has a lot of options here. I think it's a question of now he's 2-1 down. This pick is the character he's going to be locked with for the rest of the set. So you don't want to be regretting it. You want to make sure you're taking your time. It looks like he is actually going to go for Black Adam. And a stage change, however, another stage with a background bounce, which is something that Jet has been getting a lot of use out of.
That's the big thing about Supergirl. Black Adam doesn't necessarily need a background bounce, even post-patch. I mean, this guy doesn't do the damage he did once before, but Ikesy has fought really good Black Adam players online in the path to pro. He's been able to show that he can contest against this character, but can he handle a Black Adam of Slayer's caliber?
But he does have to adjust quickly to how is Slayer going to play this. Slayer, he is now locked into Black Adam. He has to make this work no matter what happens, but using those plus frames, a lot of chip damage already coming through.
This is a really good start. Really, really good start for Slayer so far. Taking basically no damage, the down 2 anti-air. It's going to scale quite heavily, but it's a great situation for Ikesy. Just get some damage on the table, challenging it, and now he's going to even things out.
There's that background bounce again, using the heavy as well, trying to make it scale as little as possible with this character. Used to do no damage, but I see 430 before me. Oh, that's going to be hit confirm as well. Into corner pressure for sure.
Here comes Ikesy. He's going to get a knockdown. He opts to cash out the damage, and now he's in big trouble. Goes for the lightning cage, doesn't work out. Back 1-2-3 is now safe on block, so no punish.
There's that chip damage coming out from Slayer, gets the jump in, but the block from Ikesy. Low lightning's going to connect. Low lightning connects again, but it was expensive.
He's now going into this round with no bar, and Ikesy knows that.
Yes, the full screen dive kick into the anti-air. Now Ikesy on match point over Rogue Slayer. Slayer with no bar to work with. Ikesy with most of his trait and 2 bars.
Slayer's definitely on the back foot, but he's going to land a full conversion here. Gets the forward one as well. There's the knockdown, spent his only bar of meter, and now they even things out.
Into that, and there's the wheelchair too, just to get him blocking. Look at the bar difference, and even the last minute cross-up, Ikesy is on fire right now. We're going to go for corner repositioning, which is just going to go back to mid-screen. This is potential one-touch left. Oh, he missed the wake-up!
Goes in for the meter burn, the jump back from Slayer, defensive, catches a clean jump in, but because he spent so much bar, in this situation, Ikesy, this is a great clash for him.
Okay, if Ikesy saves the bar, he can kill with 1 combo. If he spends nothing, he might have lost damage. Oh, there's the interrupt!
Definitely can't count out either player, but no! The interaction, he presses button! Slayer goes down! The Birmingham boy takes it home in this series, and Slayer already sent to losers.
Now, for those of you watching that might not be familiar with who Ikesy is, Ikesy was the first player in Europe to defeat Foxy Grampa in a tournament setting in Mortal Kombat X. During Foxy Grampa's most dominant time as a NetherRealm player, as a Mortal Kombat X player, Ikesy came out of nowhere, an unknown guy at the time, and was the first person to convincingly eliminate Foxy from the UK, what was basically the UK Championship at the time. It was the Mortal Kombat Cup UK, and Ikesy, again, has been using Supergirl the whole time, has been, again, under the radar, but the UK boys know how good he is, and here he is, his first opportunity to play in a major offline event since the game came out, and pulls the upset, sending Slayer into losers the first time they meet.
I've got to say as well, Ikesy, regular participant in the Path to Pro, which is a European series.
That's been weekly practice.
Now,
weekly practice against Superman, against Black Adam, against all these characters that you will fight all the time.
The Path to Pro exists that you can play in weekly competition, and even if you don't qualify, you're getting that constant competitive experience so that you can go offline, and through the experience alone, you might be able to take out a top player through the practice you've got. We just saw that. Put to exact practice.
Practice
well
makes perfect.
That was the best I've ever seen Ikesy play as well. But we can't forget as well. Slayer clearly looks very visually uncomfortable, I think. I mean, it's the first time many of these players have actually been traveling the distance all the way over to Europe, and a lot of these guys have never really, they've never even like traveled this far for a holiday, let alone a major tournament where there's a lot of expectations riding on your shoulders. But Slayer, I mean, in Vienna as well, lost to Nivek. The same matchup, Supergirl again.
I have no doubt that we'll be seeing Slayer again through the losers bracket of this event. You know, he's been in this situation before. We'll definitely see him as this tournament progresses. But moving on to the next match, we're going to be having Barrage XZoro versus NASA Tekken Master. Now, the question is here, what are we going to see matchup-wise? Because this could be Brainiac, it could be Atrocitus. I know XZoro has, I believe, a backup. I believe he's played a little bit of Robin here and there, but mainly his tournament character has been Atrocitus through and through. And Tekken Master, I mean, he's used Green Arrow in pools, he's used Atrocitus. We've seen him with Batman, we've seen him with Black Adam, we've seen him with Deadshot, we've seen him with Brainiac. Really a multi-character player, this Tekken Master.
So right now, Tekken Master's characters are pretty much, he plays, Brainiac, he plays a little bit of Batman. Green Arrow is a recent pickup for him. But on the flip side of that, XZoro, who is another player that's actually in the path to pro and he's been playing consistently, is actually qualified for the finals next week. So even if he doesn't make top 8 this time, he's already told me earlier on, this is going to be fantastic experience, but an amazing first start. If Brainiac gets that first hit, he gets the meter burn dive kick for the big damage, and he's going to be able to challenge. Last minute, wow, anti-air with the Dexter straight.
Immediate wake up 2, there's the catch from Zoro. Is he going to spend his bar? Yes, he is going to cash out this damage.
There's the knockdown, 1-1-1. The wake-up challenge, I mean, the meter burn extension of that is safe on block, but hasn't got any invincibility all the way through.
Oh, catches him. There's the restand. Good respect getting shown from Tekken Master.
That's
and there we go.
Change. That's one of the major changes now. It's not guaranteed. That breath is not guaranteed off the overhead anymore.
You have to do something a little bit safer, less mix-up potential to keep yourself safe, but there's the instant dive kick coming out from Tekken Master, who's going to take the first life bar quite convincingly. Zoro has the meter advantage, but we know how quickly that can change around.
Well, since the patch, Tekken Master's been using Brainiac quite a lot. He gave it a bit of a go at Evo, didn't quite work out so good, used it again in Vienna for Viennale. I mean, he's sticking to his guns. Doing well so far. Here comes the pressure, challenging it, pressing a button. Easy hit confirmed for XZoro.
All goes to the double overhead, into the splat, delay wake up from Tekken Master. And there's that pressure coming through, but it catches him. The drone will disappear on hit.
If you can get a good read, if you can get a fantastic read on when he presses the button there, I mean, Brainiac gets so much damage. Whiffs the forward 3, a drop combo.
There's the trade. Tekken Master again, trying to go for that pressure. Push block to get rid of the drone. Good blocks coming out from Zoro, but look at this spacing from Tekken Master, just to make sure that down 1 can't quite connect.
And the standing 3 being as fast as it is, if you've got the trait to go through, it's going to be awesome for you. Another challenge, but nice. Catching the Dexter to go. Oh, the anti-air, wait a minute.
Oh, doesn't spend the bar, catches the restand. There's the block. Oh, the double overhead.
Oh, amazing read from XZoro, baiting him going, you've only got 1 bar left. I don't think you're going to spend it.
There's the unclashable. He's trying to space, he's trying to make him whiff a button. There's the breath.
Hit confirm. He is going in for unclashable, but wait, saves himself from the damage. And now it's going to be a tricky situation for both of them. Amazing use of the push block to get rid of Dexter. Another change.
Oh, he catches him. He has the clash though.
There's the
he forces the low overhead, and Tekken Master gets opened up.
Well, there's one thing that sets away XZoro from other Atrocitus players, is that he is not afraid to just dedicate to that.
Okay, so I think that was the perfect way for Zoro to take the first game. Out of all the Atrocitus players out there, XZoro is the most willing to just bet it all on a lift. It's self-admitted. He's like, I will flip that coin, I will test your reactions, and I don't care if it's punishable. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it. And now Tekken Master knows, okay, I now have to respect this.
I mean, if Tekken Master blocked that, he was dead. He was done. That game would have been over. Such a brave decision, but this changed to Batman. This is a matchup that Tekken Master believes Batman does very, very well in.
Oh, but there's the whip punish. Sorry, doesn't quite have the bar. Oh, tries to punish, but a little bit too far pushed back.
That's another adjustment to Batman in the recent patch. That forward dash after the meter burn Batarang is nowhere near as plus as it was before. That's why he could backdash out of that situation.
There's that block puddle. You can see the patience getting shown from Tekken Master. Doesn't quite confirm from those bats. Oh, now I actually really like the way Zoro is doing that. He's still going for what is now punishable. If you go for that breath off the 3 hits, it is at high. You can be ducked and punished with an uppercut. But if he's got the cat out and he shoots the orb, like the orb is really there to just pressure you, to make you want to punish it, but get hit by the orb anyway. What a trade!
XZoro going in for a full combo, but Tekken Master spending all of his resources for the air tech.
Oh, there's a nice combo coming out from Tekken Master. Good execution here. Going to even up the life a little bit, but no, he drops it. There's the anti-air. Instead of confirming, goes for the cat instead.
Dexter's going to consistently keep him safe. The anti-air in the puddle, opting to catch the forward 2 conversion as well. I mean, the UK at the moment looking really strong
so far, but it is not over yet. Full punish, just dash up buttons. Tekken Master with that knowledge, and it's going to take a clean life bar in retaliation. His bats have disappeared, but we can see the trait is already starting to recharge for both players. The cat is out of the bag. Oh, but there's the read.
That's the hard read, but no conversion.
When he delays the orb too. I actually really like the way Zoro is using this orb. He's really just trying to get into the head of Tekken Master.
That was a really clean block right there. The gap in between low puddle and overhead a little bit smaller, so you can fuzzy that. Tekken Master with the reactions.
Spends no bar. This is a Atrocitus fully stocked with 4 bars. Oh, tries to punish, but the block in time. Oh, that down one could have been a lift.
I think just a little bit preemptive. You can see Tekken Master's a bit worried about punishing that now.
Yes, spends his bar, gets the damage. Oh, doesn't quite punish him in time.
This guy's back to the wall. That's a full combo. He has used his wager really early, so he's not going to be able to break any of this damage.
Oh, and there's that brave wake up. Tries to go for the air tech to keep himself alive, but Tekken Master with the pressure. The wake up down one. Oh, there's the back one too. This is a very strange situation. Dedicate again, but this time Tekken Master with the punish. Hey, live by the sword, die by the sword. That's what won him game 1 and it lost him game 2. But the question is, does he stick to his guns in this kind of playstyle? It was very close. He could just as easily be 2-0 up right now, but Tekken Master's competitive experience starting to really show the way he's adapting here to what Zoro's trying to do.
It's when he was on the back foot. I mean, that was a big change in game number 2, was the second he sat there and he had to block, like right now, a really nice open up with the trait release, by the way. But once Zoro's on the back foot, seems to be struggling a little bit against Batman. But I think that's one of the reasons Tekken Master believes that Batman does very well against Atrocitus. Oh, I'll catch some rank straight into forward too, but there's that retreating Batarang to make it miss. Full combo in the corner. Will history repeat itself? Can he get out? Nice block. Oh, there's that mechanical bat showing why it's so powerful. You really want to try and whiff punish, but you can't. I mean, if Batman has straight, he wants you to press the button. That's just a game of chicken. Oh, that's actually unfortunate for Zoro. He's going to lose a lot of his cat activation here. About half of it is gone before he even gets to use the first move. So Tekken Master dedicates again. Yeah, Tekken Master didn't have a bar at the time, so couldn't push block. So it's actually a free way in for Zoro. Oh, the combo drop! And it's going to get him fully opened up too. Forced to clash just to keep himself alive. It's bad enough when you drop a combo, but when the combo drop results and you're actually getting jumped in and not punished, that's what really stings. He's going for it again!
This man
XZoro
does not care. He does not care. But if anything, it's showing that Tekken Master is struggling with that fuzzy guard. This is data for Zoro to know that, okay, when he's blocking this, he is not that comfortable blocking XZoro. He gets it again!
I mean, you were saying? The down one. It's the breath. Meter burn just to be a little bit safer.
Oh, donkey jumps the wrong direction. Doesn't get comboed though.
Oh. Clean cross-up right there. I mean, all he has to do is a little bit more damage to do the round, but at this stage, Tekken Master just creating the divide even bigger. Both attempts on that Vortex have been blocked by Zoro. His defense has been showing through, but he's had to use Clash really early in 2 matches, and there's the full launcher. Oh, turns it into a full combo. Beautiful stuff from Tekken Master. Doesn't even matter that he dropped the combo at this last minute, I don't think. He's going to take the round, but this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work.
I mean, let's not say it's impossible, but it will be difficult making a comeback here at this much life left against Batman, who's so good at just getting that trade damage.
Yeah, and the danger here is that he can't afford to take a single trade as well.
Even like I was just about to say, he can meter burn any of those projectiles to get that explosion for that guaranteed chip, and he's going to do it.
So I'm willing to bet right here he's going to play a select not to change character, but I think he just wants to take away the Joker's playground. I mean, the unblockables in the corner are a huge part of just denying his corner pressure.
So I mean, it's definitely a good stage for all kind of power characters, but Batman really, obviously being a gadget character, gets a lot of mileage out of the Joker's playground. That is a great stage for gadget characters that really thrive on those unblockable launches. Even in the corner, even the ones he can jump off, Batman still with those restands can get a lot out of background interactables.
Not so extreme on this stage. Arkham Asylum.
This is a bit more of a neutral, especially on this sort of the grounds outside of the asylum itself. Not too bad. And there's that double overhead. There's a full punish. Tekken Master has started to adjust to this unsafe playstyle.
Dropped this combo a little bit, but he's got so much pressure already, it doesn't matter too much. Another clean jump in. All 3 bats into a jump in is very, very hard to defend against. Tekken Master with this just clean adjustment. Zoro's got a sequence going. Ooh, drops it.
Have to be careful dropping it there. There's that double overhead again. Nice wake-up slide coming out from Tekken Master. Big life lead coming out for him now. There's the bats go, but another missed hit confirm.
That would have been huge as well because he caught the bats. The bats are completely out of play. He's got one now, but he's not going to be able to convert. Converts off that one though. Meter burn, back 3, the range for it. Here comes Zoro. He's got trait as well.
There's a push block. He wants to push block just to get rid of that cat. There we go. Spends, trades 2 bars for that trait being gone from the side of Zoro. Double overhead gets punished again, but the amount of life that Zoro had left, maybe not so bad, but nice read on the air tech. Going to punish him with a landing grab. Match point Tekken Master right now. It's a great first game from Zoro, but this adaptation's not really changed the characters, but just play the matchup a lot better than he was before. Yeah, also the grapple going to be catching that backdash in the neutral. Full combo on the side of Zoro being gone. Spends a bar on the breath. Is he going to dedicate? You can see Tekken Master, he's trying to sort of fuzzy that, but a little bit antsy. There's a punish on the down 2. Is he going to dedicate again? He does! Spends the bar just to make sure it kills. Zoro throwing a lifeline still in this, but we can see Tekken Master, at the very least, doesn't have any bar, and his 1 mechanical bat is out. I think that's one of the reasons Zoro was a little bit less scared to go for the trait. He had no bar. If he gets the grappling hook, who cares? And again, gets the 50-50! There's that tick damage, one of the most nerfed things, but still there. If you're getting a lot of block damage, can still be a big impact. Block damage, backdash. There's the knowledge. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Oh, catches him in the neutral again. There's the restand. Enforces the mix-up, and there we go. Finally, Tekken Master gets a block, but immediately a wager from Zoro. Zoro still very much in the driver's seat after this.
When you've got a wager, it makes that very sort of risky playstyle way easier. But if you don't, you've got to be super careful. At this stage, does Zoro stick to his guns? Does he stay brave? He's got the trait. No hit confirmed because he was in the air already.
Gets himself safe with the orb again, though. The cat has disappeared. Zoro has to be careful until that thing comes back. There's the interrupt.
Oh no, dedicates a little bit too much. Once again, here's the punish from Tekken Master.
Now this is a dangerous situation. Tekken Master has access to 2 bars now. Oh, there's the block, but not quite enough. Oh, gets opened up with the overhead. Catches the air tech, and that's going to be a full punish on landing. And Zoro air techs himself to death, and Tekken Master with the read. Nice adjustment from Tekken Master.
That was played really well by Zoro, I think. Definitely sort of played the matchup, but when it comes to playing the matchup, that's exactly what Tekken Master just did. A little bit better, I think. Going to Batman already, because he feels like it's a more favourable matchup, but at the same time, knowing what works and what doesn't work. I mean, Atrocitus was one of the most changed characters in the game in the patch, but not for these sort of like major reasons. It's just when you push block, you take a little bit more of that trait away. If he goes for the forward 2-2-3 into breath, now you can crouch the breath and punish him. Tekken Master was trying to do it from start to finish, but a big thing Zoro did was trying to actually play around those changes.
I actually really liked that, though. I think that was a good example of 2 characters that had some changes in the latest patch, and both players being aware of what those changes now mean in the matchup. Like you said before, the use, punishing the breath now, the push block to get rid of the cat trait time, just to make sure that it's not up for as long as possible, and even things like Zoro, right, going for backdash in the situations where the bats on block are now not as plus as they were before, and a few little things here and there. Overall, a good set. Zoro now knocked into losers, so very much still in this, but Tekken Master going to be moving through. And moving into our next set, we're going to be having Madzin versus Xian. This is a matchup that, what do we expect to see here? Because it's going to be Cheetah from Xian, but who do you think Madzin's going to be going with? Probably Batman?
Batman's the character he's been using the most recently.
Also does very well versus Cheetah. As a universal opinion, Batman does do very well in that matchup specifically, and when you're been playing Batman as long as Madzin has now, I mean, maybe we'll see it. I'll be surprised if we don't.
Batman is... it's a potential character we could see, and when it comes to Madzin in particular, this guy's been playing a lot of Sub-Zero as well.
I was actually just about to say, Madzin is known as being a bit of a crowd pleaser when it comes to his character choices. Let's look back into MKX, Sub-Zero. Kotal Khan was kind of the blood god, Kotal Khan around, and now moving into this. We know the fans want to see, his fans are going to want to see Sub-Zero. I know Twitch chat's probably going crazy wanting to see his Sub-Zero in action. Now he's actually tournament legal. This is the first weekend that Sub-Zero has been tournament legal in an Injustice Pro Series event since he came out. So if we see Sub-Zero this weekend, is probably going to be the first time we'll see it.
But also, if you're Xian, how much Sub-Zero experience do you have?
I'm not sure.
The thing what makes Xian such a remarkable player in this game is his access to training is quite limited. He hasn't got a massive scene to play with offline. His training comes from either online or watching videos. His real breakout performance at EVO was defeating DJT. Defeating DJT 3-2. And that was pre-patch Black Adam as well. I mean, he's clearly a threat in Injustice. He's a multi-game specialist and going straight in for Cheetah. So this time it's going to be Batman. Not really surprised to see it. This is the character Madzin's been doing really well with recently, and it really lets him sort of like emphasize his playstyle in a game like this. Really aggressive.
So this matchup overall, the mechanical bats are a big problem for Cheetah. Overall, she's a hyper mobile character, big damage potential, but if you're really good, I mean like really good at keeping characters out, Cheetah can struggle in that department. Obviously, she's got the leap. If she can really sort of thread that needle and get that leap out just in between shots, it can be quite a difficult one to deal with. But Batman just has so many different projectile options at most points of the screen. His pressure is incredible. His wake-up game isn't that bad when the bats are out on the screen. And I mean, he's just a very versatile character, right? And that handles a lot of characters in this game, Cheetah being one of them. I think I just saw some tech there that I might go into later, but definitely not now. We're going to go into this winners match, Xian versus Madzin. I mean, it's international versus international. So VSFighting 2017, Madzin has done very well in this tournament historically in Mortal Kombat. Can he do it again in Injustice 2? Now this is going to be that fight for that first hit, that first bar of meter. Both players really can use that. Cheetah gets a lot of launching capabilities. Batman just Vortex City if he can get hold of that bar. There's that first hit. It's going to go to Xian, but because he built so much bar, it's actually a trade-off. And even though Batman didn't get the first hit, he's got more bar. Oh, no blocking that cross-up, Xian. There's the restand. Oh, goes straight into the overhead grab. Spends the bar for a full launch. That might be enough to closely get this round down. Not enough. Oh, spends the second bar. Oh no, but drops the follow-up. Now, this is a great opening for Madzin if he can get
even a single hit, but looking like right now, Xian not giving him the chance to. The down one to get rid of all 3 bats. That is a huge advantage.
It's going to take a while to have all 3 up again, but he's going to get his first one in just a few seconds' time. Xian being patient here, we can see he's got a massive life lead, but in no rush to just go in and finish things off.
I mean, Xian, he's got so much life, even though he's got no meter. Why does he need to overextend? He has absolutely no reason to. You can see really trying to low profile that there, just trying to get through these bats on his way in, whereas he slowly works his way in. Nice anti-air, fully converts, even though it traded. She's got a fast down too. She's got good low profile ability.
There's the combo. It's going to keep him in. Now, what's the wake-up option? Oh, doesn't let him. There's the restand, going for pressure, catches the overhead. That's going to be a full combo as well. We're going to see him go for the grapple again. No, he opts to cash out, get that space between him and Xian.
The
Doesn't
danger
want
is,
Cheetah anywhere near him.
because he lost those 3 bats really early on, he's been consistently out of bats, which has been a great situation for Xian when it comes to him trying to defend.
I mean, he does call them, it's basically been 1 at a time.
The conversions haven't been what Madzin needed. You know, he's landed those resets. He could go for, like, you know, a string into back call for the Vortex, but he's not been able to do it because he has none of the trait available. Here comes Xian, clean hit.
Oh, we can see him spend another bar. No, he doesn't. Oh, wow! Wake-up trait coming out from Madzin to get rid of the speck of life that Xian had again, but it does get him back to full screen again. But Xian pops the trait. If he can get hit here, he actually might do enough damage to close this out.
Trait's going to vanish any minute. Down for quite a while. Unblockable barrels, catches 1.
Madzin wasn't ready for that to work. And again, maybe Xian not knowing it's an unblockable interactable.
Well, he's going to know now.
Find out the hard way.
It's always the worst way to find out if something is unblockable.
Of course. In the middle of a tournament, Pro Series premiere event.
Batman's trait and his grappling hook combined really lets him convert off any wayward hit, and it does include interactables. And there's the anti-air. What a read from Madzin! Air tech gets used. Xian out of meter. But with his trait available, even meterlessly, he can do big damage to that trait. The down 3.
Wow, and there's the overhead going to connect. That's very uncomfortable in the defense, but he's going to get an opening. We can see him go for the restand. Yes, he does. What's the mix-up? Xian doesn't have a wager anymore.
1 more hit's going to do it. There's the leap. Oh, wow! Oh, no, the mechanical bat was too far away, so the leap was completely unpunished.
That's going to be it.
That's looking extremely likely to be the game. The reset into guaranteed damage. But, I mean, honestly, well played from Xian. But at the last minute, I was really worried when I saw that leap connect and the mechanical bat was behind. It completely missed.
Indeed, but I think that was a really strong game from Xian, though. He had a life lead the whole time. It really sort of kept Madzin trying to really claw back the life lead, and obviously the closer the game got at the end, he started to get opened up a little bit more.
Was that a no pun intended situation?
I mean, I don't know. I forgot what I said already.
You said, oh, we'll talk about it later. It's too late now. The joke is already gone. But straight back, I think that was to change stage. That's one thing Xian does. More than I think a lot of people is, they acknowledge immediately when it's a stage that they don't want.
However, you know, Cheetah being a character that really kind of needs bar to launch and really sort of get juggle opportunities, as soon as you chuck in a background bounce, she can really thrive off of that. And Batman doesn't really need those as much, so definitely a better stage, I think, for Xian here.
This is going to be a huge adjustment for Madzin, though, where he's going to, even with that character power available, he's just going to wait for the leap and then anti-air it with the up toss into the trait to combo. And that's one thing Batman does so superbly in this game is you cannot jump in on this character when he's got mechanical bats. Oh wow, execution error.
Yeah, doesn't get punished too hard, but a little bit of damage coming out from Xian. Catches a full jump in, and there's the background bounce.
That's what you were talking about, just giving her the massive damage. No meter or trait required.
I mean, 408 for no bar means now she now has 1 more to go with to get that mix-up potential.
Really good block on the low. Batman can actually combo off his slide if he's got bats.
Wow, down 2 into up Batarang. Madzin pulling out the forbidden tech.
Amazing block in front. Xian, defense on point. Batman, such a Vortex-heavy character, but not being opened up by the Vortex so far. However, I might speak too soon. The grabs have come through. Minimal damage, though.
Does have access to 1 bat, though, so Xian has to be careful on the defense. Tries to get over, but the bat is being held onto by Madzin. There's the backdash into a Batarang. Madzin, a comfortable life lead again going into game 2.
There's the lead. Using the environment, actually, to sort of alter the jump arc, but it doesn't matter. But there's only 1 bat, so no combo.
There's that meter burn forward 3 attempt. Was sure that Madzin was going to press a button, but he jumped instead and into a wager quite early on, but at the very least, Xian can opt to get some health back here, maybe hold on to it. Yes, he does. Spend 2, get himself back up to full health on the second life bar.
It feels like the way Madzin's been defending this cheater pressure has been very unpredictable, and I think Xian's been really struggling to get a read on that. And that up Batarang into full combo again, even though he dropped the combo, still unable to be jumped in on. That's so important in this matchup. The leap, such a popular way in. You see Madzin, though, just repeatedly, and that really is the mechanical bat strength in a nutshell. You block anything and let that bat go, and they have to hesitate getting any advantage on you whatsoever. There's the Saga backdash to get out of danger, but amazing trade for Madzin. No combo, but with this life difference,
Madzin really, I actually love the way he's using these up batarangs though. He's just creating this no-fly zone, and at any point Xian goes to move in, he can just react with the mechanical bat and get a full combo anyway. As I can see, full combo gets a restand in the corner, no block on the overhead by Xian, and that's going to be a comfortable life lead.
So, 2-0 down, but definitely don't count this guy out. Xian is a fighting game legend. He's been in this situation more than enough times.
Indeed, but I think this is a testament to just how well Madzin's playing the matchup. This is a difficult matchup for a reason, and Madzin knows how to make that a problem.
Important first hit. Getting the first hit early, denying Madzin that meter build. Last time he got the first hit, they basically traded it 1-for-1 because of how much he'd built before, but not today.
Indeed. Xian sitting right low, but struggling to get in so far. Madzin, even though he's not getting any chip damage on the board, look at all the bar he's building in the process.
I mean, at this rate, he's going to have more bar than Xian, and Xian got the first hit.
Oh, there's that slide. Oh, wow. Low profiles the bats.
That's going to be good data, I think, for Xian, knowing that's going to be an option. Getting one bar out for minimal damage, altering the jump arc. Batman has many different ways to change how he jumps in. Madzin knows how to utilize that better than a lot of players, for sure.
Full combo, wow, yeah, and that's a nice conversion coming from it too. Got 2 bars out of Xian for the air tech.
Good block so far. Xian really not being opened up by the Batman Vortex. He's getting opened up by other means, but speaking of which, a clean jump 2 cross up. And he's going to spend the bar on the reset. Goes for it.
This could be it. Oh, there's a last minute block on the cross up.
His blocks have been ridiculous this entire set. Full combo, here we go, the launching leap.
It doesn't spend the bar, just gets the knockdown, pops the trait. If he can get one opening here, he can take the life bar, catch it in the air tear, but no! Doesn't quite get the confirm.
Oh, instant jump from Madzin into the sparks. That was just a weird exchange. Madzin's on match point versus Xian right now. Down 3, knock him down. Importantly, getting rid of that trait.
Again, altering that jump arc, making that anti-air so hard to time.
I feel like that might make Xian a little bit anti to try and anti-air, but no, goes for it again. I wonder how many times it's going to take for him to change.
Wake up backdash again, Xian. The limb's not quite long enough reaching to catch it.
Oh, the armor break! Another down 2. Not being deterred, even though he's been jumped in on multiple times, it's still going to win him the round, though, so he's staying true to his decisions to anti-air consistently.
Also recognizing whether Madzin's likely to do it. He had a lot of bar, but no trait available.
Again, nice catch. It's going to get rid of the trait. I think the forward 3 actually got away from the initial hitbox, so no armor break, but no, another jump in.
Oh, this could be a problem.
Game. No wager, but in that situation, Madzin got the job done. 3-0. Xian in the loser's bracket.
Strong stuff coming out from Madzin. Obviously been playing Batman for a couple of months now, and every time we see it, it does get better and better. He just seems to get a lot more comfortable, and a big thing obviously is matchups. You have to play every matchup in a very specific way, and if something is regarded as a bad matchup, and not to sort of, keep coming back to this, but Batman versus Cheetah, it is hard for Cheetah. But you have to, as the Batman player, know why that is the case. What do you have to do to make it a bad matchup? And Madzin is away, using those mechanical bats, building as much bar as possible, making himself very difficult to approach, and obviously making himself very difficult to punish, if anything, at the very least.
A big part of that as well was when he was cornered. Meter burn forward 3 is such an attractive option for Cheetah because it's plus on block, hits twice so it can armor break. It kind of goes hand in hand with how she low profiles with down 3. But a big part of what Madzin was doing was getting a read on when he was going to do it. Just jumping over. Jump over it, whiff punish it with a full combo because it was a meter burn forward 3. If she wages or has air escape, she's lost that resource to be able to do it. But wasting no time, we're going into our next match. Irishmantis versus Nivek. Irishmantis, one of the sort of premier European players by the later stage of Mortal Kombat X. The stunt double player by the end of the game as well, obviously next to DJ Homers as well. But Nivek, a fighting game genius, really, from Greece. He plays
one of the
games.
strongest fighting game players to ever come out of Greece.
I think he just heard us as well. Hi, Nivek.
But Irishmantis, one interesting thing about this matchup we're about to see is Irishmantis has gone through a few characters since the game came out. We've seen him play Black Adam, he started with Atrocitus, but now, of all characters, settled on Captain Cold. And he's been playing Captain Cold as one of his characters since launch. And now Captain Cold being a bit of a... Actually has caught some spotlight, obviously being the character that won the anality in the hands of Sonic Fox. Again, congratulations for that.
Shouts to Fox.
But like I said, it really has put a spotlight on the character. A lot of people are going, okay, well, what matchups does Captain Cold do well in? When should we pick him? How do we play him? Because Sonic Fox played Captain Cold in a very specific way. A character with immense utility, but utilized in a different way to other Cold players we'd seen before. And whether or not that's what we see here now, Nivek, of course, is going to be bringing out Supergirl, the highest placing Supergirl player at EVO, not too long ago now, about just a month ago now.
Nivek's had a couple of great performances actually offline. Vianality was the one to defeat Slayer there also, another Supergirl matchup. So the fact that she's been upgraded in the recent patch is going to be really important for the fact that she now hits a little bit harder. She's a little bit safer with that back 1, 2, 3 being safer on block. But he just come off Evo with pre-patch Supergirl, where he actually managed to, he lost 3-2 to Coach Steve in winners, which was a super, super close set. But then the run back in losers was a straight 3-0. Defeated the PND original, OmegaK as well, Grodd versus Supergirl. That was a really fun to watch set. Might you see that again later on if, well, if everything turns out the way they expect.
Maybe we will, but I do believe Irishmantis is most likely going back to Atrocitus for this one. I don't think he wants to really play Captain Cold into this matchup, maybe not just as comfortable in that situation, but still Atrocitus being a character that Nivek has said before, he's very comfortable in this matchup. Obviously, you know, shouts to Coach Steve. Coach Steve sent Nivek to losers at Evo, and then Nivek was able to win the run back on stream after.
In this matchup?
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Matchup.
In this matchup. This is a matchup he is comfortable playing.
So we'll see if Irishmantis has almost a variation. We'll see if he can pull it through, but already, and immediate punishes, you know, Nivek he's using these very sort of specific answers, which I reckon is going to be foreshadowing throughout the entire series, because Supergirl, she's got some unique little options about how he goes in for that deck star pressure. Oh wow, instant recovery on that charge. He's going to turn it straight into a breath corner positioning too. He's going to have him back to the wall here with the egg option. Oh, nice!
What a read! Full combo for Madness.
But no, drops the combo.
But at the very least, he wanted to get the cat. And the important thing is, yeah, she does have the cat indeed. Nice throw tech coming out from Nivek. Just sit there and block long enough required. And now is he going to bet the farm? No. Goes straight in for the breath, trying to stay a little bit safer. Losing the mix-up. Mantis definitely not being afraid to keep himself safe if possible. Not quite as much of a risky player as we've seen other Atrocitus can be. Oh, but there's a good block on the teleport. That's going to be a full punish. But this is one thing that Mantis doesn't do. Contrast actually when we saw almost like a Zoro, for example. He takes very little risks with Atrocitus. When he takes a risk, it's at a very unexpected moment. Oh, no hit confirm coming out from Nivek. Spends about to keep himself safe. And again, the patience coming out from Mantis. That could have been a punish attempt, but he is content to just sit there and wait for his moment. Hasn't got the life bar yet. 2 bars burnt from Nivek. Going in for the life trade now. Atrocitus gets point blank. He's going to do damage over time. Actually surprised that laser recovered in time to block the TV. I think he tried to go in for a puddle and just got a down 1. I think it might have even hit in that situation. The shield. That was a slow round number 1. He has lost the cat now, though. Has started to cool down already. You can see the patience coming out from Mantis. He's not content sticking out anything he doesn't need to. He has a little bit of a life lead, wants to hold on to it as long as possible. Really looking for something to react to as well, but Nivek isn't giving it to him. Both players pressing very little buttons in the neutral. Good start from Mantis right there. Even meter. No way to chase down the backdash. Nivek with that read. Back 3 is going to seal the next round. They've both got full wager. But this time now, though, look how much bar Atrocitus has. I mean, that's a lot of damage. He's trying to get the cat out, but Nivek will not let him. Tries again. I think perhaps out of frustration, maybe. Nivek whips the air grab just to get some bar again. That's one thing Nivek does very well, is just optimizing his meter gain in those stun situations. Whiffs a grab. A little bit too early, I think. Mantis repositioning. Oh no, that's it. I think he was expecting him to press a button after down 1, but because he got hit while he was airborne, that was not the scenario Mantis was ready for. I think wake up jump was the last thing Mantis expected in that situation, but that's going to be a nice confirm from Nivek, even on bar at the very least. Do you think Nivek is likely to spend anything? I think it depends on how much he wants to use. Spends 2. Wow, that's actually going to deal a chunk of damage too. Look how weak he is now, but he does have 2 bars. This is Atrocitus, but Nivek has a wager of his own, but he's not going to have... He might have 1 bar to push block. No, just goes for the knockdown. Only just built 1 bar now, though. The lower we see Mantis get, the more threatening it's going to be for this trait. It's going to take him a while to build it back up to full now. There's the down 1. Nivek, he's going to have a clash. Does he use it? No, keeping things unclashable, Mantis. Very smart, but no, the wake up! Nivek betting the farm on that final bar, and he takes the first game. But at the end of that game, that was just really smart decision after really smart decision. That was a read on a read on a read. Nivek, I think, let himself get hit by that 1-1 at the end because he wanted to try and clash. But Mantis immediately didn't finish the string. And he went for a grab instead, which is why the wake-up connected. That was just playing unclashable versus unclashable. That was a brave start. Nivek spending all of his character power. He got him the first hit. We've seen what Supergirl could do with that bar already. Ooh, a nice use of the shield to make the overhead a little bit safer. On hit, that actually restands as well. Doesn't go in for a knockdown. I think it's if you're convinced they're going to block the overhead, you just want to keep yourself as safe as possible. Nice use of the up breath. Very good startup on that move. A unique challenge. Good knowledge from Mantis there. Oh, good air to air. Not every day you see Atrocitus jump forward without a cat on screen. Speaking of which, here he is. And he's flinging those balls already. Full combo. Opts to go in for maybe even a reset. Might have dropped the combo, but we'll never know. Has him in the corner anyway. Look at these shimmy attempts coming out of Mantis into a throw. Wow, this really is... I mean, he's playing Atrocitus like Johnny Cage.
Oh, no, hit confirm.
Oh, no, he drops.
Yeah, we could have had the end of the round there if he had confirmed that 1-1-1, but Nivek's still alive ever so slightly, but the down 2 anti-air seals it. Could have been a big mistake, but not really punished that heavily.
A much better start for Mantis, though, in the second game. Nice life lead going in. Going to take Nivek a while to build this one back up again, but we have seen it happen.
I like these little conversions that we're starting to see Supergirl players do now.
Not wanting to capitalize on those plus frames, like he just didn't expect maybe a punch float. We did see him crouch.
Nivek tries to punish the trait cool, but a little bit slow on the uptake.
Ooh, raw puddle into the shield. There's the challenge from Mantis. I dare you to come in.
And after that push block in particular, just look at the meter difference. Goes in for an anti-air. I don't think Mantis is going to do much, but there's a last-minute cross-up. I mean, that is so hard to see.
It's also not the first time we've seen that today either. That is tricky stuff.
I like that forward 3 at the end as well, knowing he's going to land on the other side and push Mantis back into the corner. Full confirm. Really, I mean, definitely worth the trade there.
That wager was no messing around. That was, okay, I've been hit. I want to win this wager. I want to push myself out of the corner. I want to give myself space. I want to have some room to call the cat if I want to.
Oh, wow, the whiff down 2.
Oh, the armor break. That's unfortunate for Mantis. Cost him 2 bars as well.
But because of it, he's still got way more meter. Nivek consistently out of it. And if he hasn't got bar, her damage output is nowhere near as lethal.
Oh no, misses to confirm. Mantis hasn't quite had the timing on this deck stuff yet.
Oh. And a Dexstar is actually still pretty far away. Where is he? Where'd he go?
He went to the Beyond realm. We'll see him again in a few seconds.
No doubt. Full combo, but because he used his wager really early, he's got nothing to defend if he gets hit. If he gets hit now, he's actually going to lose.
That's actually a really nice block on that overhead. We see Mantis going for that throw just to get an easier punish on the breath. So blocks coming through, spins a bar. There's the plus frames. No commitment from Nivek. Oh, a lot of chip coming through. Okay, now Nivek has to be careful though, because he's not going to win a wager at any point for the rest of this game, most likely.
I think that's why he didn't even try and go in for the combo. He would rather go for the restand into block pressure. That's how Atrocitus is going to get his damage. The win to get rid of the shield, but it's still up. No longer.
Ooh, I think the float is to really bait Mantis into going for a puddle. Because if he goes for a puddle, he's going to react with teleport.
No, he lets go and block! He just pressed buttons right before. He must have been confident that Nivek was not going to meet about that.
Well, that is going to take Nivek to a 2-0 advantage. 2 very close games. This is another one of those sets where the score isn't really reflecting how close the matches themselves actually are. Like, this could easily go down to a 3-0 if Mantis doesn't make an adjustment, but the matches are so close. But what character do we see him go for? It could be one of those cases.
Ooh,
is he going to
do
thinking about it?
Is he going to switch? I think he's thinking about it, but is he confident in the matchup? As confident as he would be if he went Atrocitus. No, he's going in.
Captain Cold. Here we go.
He's got a gun that freezes.
It all rests on the shoulders of Mr. Snart. Ugh.
I watched that video yesterday as well.
Here we go.
Already.
Now, what you'd normally pick Captain Cold for isn't quite as traditional in this matchup. You normally pick him against characters that have either low mobility or lack of a projectile to really contest with that fireball, and Supergirl is definitely none of those things.
But that's one thing that Captain Cold had is an amazing anti-air. That down 2 is one of the best in the game.
Clean jump. So it threads the needle there, just air dashes straight over the wall.
There's the knockdown. Lots of wager, but you so often see Supergirl players land behind. I think that was what Mantis was banking on, but no. Here comes Mantis. Oh, what a setup! Cheeky.
Actually made him roll in the direction that he actually wanted him to go. That was really smart from Nivek. Nice life lead, but their read on the backdash coming up from Mantis. Use the time, gets a little bit of gun charge. Oh no, drops the corner combo. Good punish on the teleport at the very least.
I think Nivek may have actually sort of tried to catch Mantis somewhat flustered there after the combo drop, but Mantis staying a little bit true to his defense.
I mean, Mantis isn't the kind of player to really choke. You know, he doesn't really make a huge amount of errors, and if he does, he doesn't get tilted by them. You know, if he does make mistakes, he doesn't really let it frustrate him. He still plays quite clean. He recovers very well from his mistakes.
But right now, Nivek on the match point, doesn't commit. There's the down 2 anti-air. I mean, both these characters have amazing anti-airs. Nivek probably thinking he was a bit closer to the corner there. Gets hit big time by the projectile.
Now, the important thing here is, though, look at the trait meter from Captain Cold. He's very close to that ice, that snow dome. That's really powerful usage. But
he's got it.
She has mobility to get through it. He's got to be careful when he goes for it.
I do wonder how Nivek's going to be able to adjust. Lands a full combo. Oh, the bar. That's going to do big damage now, especially post-patch. Another loop.
Oh, wow. 409 coming through.
Oh, again, tricky stuff.
I think Mantis might have expected it to cross up.
He's yet to cross up with it. And that's the big thing, is that Supergirl players always go behind with that forward 3. But Nivek yet to do it in this game. Still got his level 2 dome.
At this rate,
he's even going to have the chance to do it.
Dash up doesn't quite have the bar. Nice down to anti, and again, we've seen that work. Now he has the Snow Dome in the corner. There's the bait on the teleport, but doesn't have the bar to get anything off of it. It's going to take him a while. I doubt we'll see him get another Snow Globe at any point during this match. Now UndeadJim has the bar. Does he have the bar to kill here? We'll see what happens. He's going to get a knockdown, even if the combo doesn't kill. Still alive.
Chip
damage, and she has the trait. There it is. Forward dashes straight into the laser beams. UndeadJim's going to be knocking Irishmantis into the loser's bracket.
Well, I think at the end there, when we saw him have the two little ticks of that train, we're like, right, we're going to see the dome. You know, he's got access to the dome. He has to do it now. He's got the knockdown. It's the classic time you normally see them go for it. But right there at the end, Supergirl, that teleport is an attractive option. He made the read, but he had no resources. You know, if you've got no resources and you're a meter-intensive Punisher, like Captain Cold in some ways is, even if you read it, your payout's not going to be that big.
Well, the thing is that really is the strength of the Snow Globe, though. You know, if you sit in the dome for a while, after a few seconds, you just get frozen for being there. You're massively slowed down. Your jump is really floaty. Everything is more punishable. Just generally, you move so much slower when you're sitting in that aura. So teleport was the go-to thing to just get out of it, but it was a read. If Madness pressed anything, maybe the teleport would get him out, but he didn't. Because he didn't have the bar to actually capitalize on the punish, he just didn't get anything for it. And it takes him so long to charge that trait against Supergirl. Because he tries to, you know, press all these buttons and fiddle around with a gun. She just shoots a laser beam and that's it. You know, he's stopped dead in his tracks.
It's a majorly underrated tool that Supergirl has. That individual projectile that she has from the trait, it knocks down as well. Like it's not just one of those typical fast projectiles that kind of leaves you standing. The fact that it gives a knockdown, the damage is irrelevant. It's the situation she gets afterwards. So if you're going to be Captain Cold and you need to sort of sit there and build it up, she's just going to constantly sort of pepper you with it over and over again, almost like the way Deadshot would do the same kind of thing. It just doesn't work as well.
Now this has me excited. I do believe Infexious has taken the stage with this Swamp Thing. Now we had a chance to see that in pool play earlier on, and I didn't even know Infexious played Injustice, let alone Swamp Thing. But because he's used to playing, for those of you watching, Infexious is a very well-known player of just big body grapple characters. You know, an immense Street Fighter player, very successful, and playing Swamp Thing in Injustice 2 isn't too much of a surprise in terms of characters that he's used to playing, but he has that patience that you're just not used to seeing from this character.
So while we sort of wait for these guys to set up their match, just to kind of remind you all, DLC for Injustice 2. It's been quite prominent. Sub-Zero now legal in the IPS, but from one sort of unknown character in Swamp Thing to another, Starfire. Let's talk about her for a second. Now, Starfire has been interesting since she came out. On face value alone, seems very powerful, has a lot going for her, good damage, good meter build, and just a lot to go with. So, I think the interesting thing about the way Starfire has kind of turned out in the game already is that she's very sort of range dependent, but her damage, you know, the damage is what you pick the character for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But she has a lot of options there, you know, and obviously I think she's just really, really cool so far. And we've seen a lot of different players. I mean, as and when these characters come out, we see the whole community kind of experiment and do little things and try and find what they can. And when an entire community is all trying out the same character, and then you start to take bits from every player. Okay, well, he's found that thing, and he's found that thing, and that combo's cool, and that guy's got a cool conversion, and that's a nice setup, and you really blend that all together. That's where you really get to see how complete a character can seem. So I get these guys sort of getting up and set up. Madzin so far, looking really, really strong. Looking forward to seeing Infectious. We've had some good games so far as well. Obviously, Tekken Master looking as strong as ever with, well, I think Brainiac's a big one. Hopefully we can see more Brainiac. We've had a nice amount of character variety today too. And this early days. It's early days as well.
Yeah.
This is just day one of the event. Obviously, we're going into top 8 tomorrow, which is going to be the big one because this is an Injustice Pro Series event. There is a lot of points on the line, a lot of prize money as well, and I mean,
this is a premier qualifier.
Exactly. This is a premier event, so we're going to be seeing the best coming out to play. Best in Europe are here. You know, aside from a few people that couldn't make it, but really, I think this has been a good few weeks for Europe. You know, a lot of even at Vianality, there was a ton of character variety. You know, shouts to Yamini and that green arrow.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
So he's sort of just trying to stick these controls at the moment, make sure we get into this game as fast as possible. Getting through this now, I do believe we're in some of the later stages of some of these pools already. Some of them are yet to start. Some of them have already got through to sort of the top 4 of the pools, I suppose, moving on.
I think in the process of doing their button checks, really, really important element, I think, in tournament. We've seen it already too many times. When a player, they lose a match, and you kind of see them sort of point towards the other guy going, wait a minute. And they then change a button and go, right, well, something's wrong. That's definitely not the saying you want to find out that your buttons are incorrect.
So speaking of characters we've seen so far, though, this really has been a good tournament for Supergirl. I
think,
Ixi and Nivek, probably being the 2 strongest Supergirl players in Europe at the moment, have both been doing well in their games so far. And let's not forget, actually, Ixi sent Slayer to losers in their match on stream, which is, I mean, that's an upset. We know Ixi's good, but that's an upset.
And that is one of the absolute best.
And that was one of the first matches. I think that might have actually been the first match we saw on stream.
So here we go. Infexious going in with Swamp Thing to making sure their buttons are all good. To be honest, Swamp Thing versus Catwoman, it's not really a match any of us have ever seen, but Swamp Thing has been buffed quite significantly, and Catwoman has been nerfed quite significantly.
Indeed, Swamp Thing's main changes, his trait now starts up a little bit faster. When he gets hit by a projectile while using his grabs in the garden, he does have a bit of armor now, which helps him in the sort of the long range department. Not something I imagine we'll be seeing too much against Catwoman, but her damage taking a little bit of a hit, some of her pressure less so, and the armor on Cat Dash being removed can be interesting here, I think.
Obviously, Infectious recently picked up by XL Esports, so looking to sort of do these guys proud at this tournament, not just for Injustice, but for other games as well. We'll see how well he does. An immediate jump back too. Swamp Thing's jump-ins are really dangerous in a lot of ways. Oh, wow. Good option there for the anti-air. There's a conversion. She's got meterless pop-ups there, but if you want to spend a bar, you can do that as well.
Oh, good blocks coming up from Infectious, trying to get through. There's the whip.
Oh, what a whiff punish!
There's actually one thing, I was watching Infectious earlier on in pools, and his whiff punishes have been by far one of the best things about his play. And against a character like Catwoman, that is so important to show that she can't just press buttons in front of you. That is going to be crucial here.
That did 450 damage, by the way, that combo. That conversion. I mean, Swamp Thing's damage output is really
damage was never one of his problems.
Exactly. Catches another conversion. Shaz not going for the air escape. That's going to go for a knockdown. And there we go. Doesn't even need to spend a bar.
Big boy damage. Swamp Thing. Brainiac ship. The green nowhere to be seen, but doesn't matter. Oh, there's the trait.
And now as Shaz goes in, that's damage over time. Can't backdash, can't jump.
Now, I love that, though. Walked back, planted all this guarded. You can't jump or dash while you're standing in that. And now he has him right where he wants him.
And there we go. Using those buffs and those changes immediately. The unsafe wake up. Could have been a full combo, but right now the damage divide is so big, it doesn't matter. Nice reaction on the forward three. Infectious looking strong.
All tries to down one challenge, doesn't quite get it. Don't think Shaz is going to quite have the damage to take this here, but it's going to get close.
I don't think post-patch, there's a bit of increased combo scaling when she lands those whips mid-combo. And at this stage, any damage that Infectious might do is going to be constellation damage. You know, it's just going to make that next round so much harder for Shaz to finish.
Look at the patience coming from Infectious, though. Really sitting there. There's the overhead. Doesn't get anything more off it. There's the low log.
Forward three of the knockdown, another hit confirm. Shaz, he's in big trouble, has to use the wager. This is not a good start for him.
This just has been a matter of just a game of neutral. Infectious has been sitting on this life lead and spacing himself out perfectly. That Shaz, all of his best buttons just haven't quite been as attractive at the time.
Now he's got 5 scratches. It's not going to act as a wake-up attack anymore, but it's going to give her a massive extension of damage if she lands a significant hit. And wow, tries to whiff punish and gets hit again. And there we go. Very smart.
But she has to go in. Like, she has no choice. She hasn't got the life lead. Either be patient and sit here, but now stuck in the garden, nowhere to move.
There's another punish on the whip trip. I actually feel like the garden change here is going to be really big for Catwoman.
But what he's currently doing, the only change to the garden that Infectious is utilizing is that it actually comes out quicker. That is the only change. They're using it and walking back and planting that sort of like field of, well, you kind of don't really want to come in here, but you have no choice, really.
The field of green.
Indeed. Or maybe not in that shader. Wait, is this going to be, are we going to have a cannon matchup? Oh, come on, put us on the swamp. Put us on the swamp.
Oh! Almost. I mean, it's random stage. They can't manually select it, but it would have been perfect.
Still, though, Infectious really just playing this really well. Shaz now gone to Ivy, so matchup. Big thing here is Ivy has full screen options.
The green screams.
Oh, come on, guys. Killing us here. The green screams. That's literally all we heard.
But now, here we go. This is the This is what Ivy can do that Catwoman didn't really have the option to at the time, is projectiles from full screen and just full screen checks.
But the change here will be actually, as long as Swamp Thing will be sitting in the garden, which we may see or may not, is when he lands those vine grabs from this distance, if he trades a projectile with the grab, he actually absorbs it as an armored attack. But I'm not sure if Shaz is going to give him the change. Now, this was an immediate adaptation, just because he, in the last match, was having to close in the space against Infectious. Now, he's turned it on its head. He's forcing Infectious to come to him.
But also, this range we're watching right now, this is the range that Shaz needs to keep Infectious at. Because the vine grab, long range, does go really far, but it doesn't go fullest of the full screen. So Swamp Thing's options here are, his only real option to counter zone is, summon the friend and punch in the back of the head. But obviously that's going to trade at the very least, and when you are this down on life, trading is not what you can do. Infectious just walking Shaz to the corner and using his life as the currency to do so.
Yet to land a single hit in this matchup so far, so clearly the character change has been beneficial. Now he can start forward to taking it a little bit. He's going to try and go for those punches, but unfortunately, even if he trades it, The trades will never be in his favor. He's pretty much, he's more than an entire life bar down.
This is going to be tough for Swamp Thing, though, when the trait is in play. Oh, there's that meter burn 4-3 full combo coming out from Shaz. Oh, drops it, though.
Doesn't matter too much. 4-3 again. I mean, even though it's slow, the actual startup speed of the 4-3 itself when she goes from neutral to flip is quite quick.
Okay, so the corner repositioning coming out from Infexious, but what's it here? There's the delay wake up coming out from Shaz. Oh, wow, catches him there.
Going in for the guaranteed trait. And
this is trouble, yeah, the trait doing so much chip in combination with these vine drills. Look at that chip damage just disappear.
And that's it. The game is done, and a very clean and clear adaptation, I think. So if you're Infectious in this situation, what do you do?
I mean, really, you have to get in. You have to get as close as possible, but everything that Ivy does pushes you back, so it's not quite that easy. I mean, ultimately, you know, usually you can sort of like jump and use perhaps air mobility to get in and close that space, but Swamp Thing isn't really known for that. Quite a floaty jump, doesn't have much to do when he's in the air. Kind of just has to try and not go down quite so far unlikely. And there we go, a good jump on a read at the time that happened to go for a drill. Now Infectious has a life lead, he's not going to be quite as at risk. It's when you get really down on life, it's so difficult to bring that life lead back. But that divide is not here right now. An immediate instant jump, good read from Shaz to kind of meet him. There's the meter burn grab for the restand. What's the mix up? Oh, tries to go into the environment bounce perhaps, or maybe just go for a restand, but Infectious, oh, there's the delay, and there's the heal. That's the huge thing Swamp Thing can do off Green Thumb. He can actually spend a bar of meter and heal himself. And in many ways, it makes the combo do more damage, because you're getting healed and they're taking damage. And a backdash, the log! Green Thumb doing a lot at the moment, a lot of damage by itself. Obviously the utility, if you've got the bar, you can use Green Thumb to heal yourself and then slam them, or heal yourself twice.
But right now, this is why we're seeing the full screen come through, because now Infectious doesn't care that he's trading. He's got so much more life, he can afford to take these trades. It's going to be in his favor.
Oh, Shaz unfortunately missing that. He was quite ready for it to swap sides like that. Going to spend the bar here.
A few combo drops. Maybe some nerves, maybe a bit of ropiness, but the second IV gets hit, that trait will disappear. Yep, just about to say, the second she takes damage, the trait vanishes. Goes in for the vine grab. I love the awareness. He knows he's not point blank, so Green Thumb won't work. He goes for the vine grab instead. Another grab. The heal to make it harder to come back, and he's still got so much bar to work with. The tick grab doesn't even need it. Down 2 combos. Infectious in complete control right now.
Now in the corner is where that's a real threat, because down 2 grab will hit on hits and block. It's like Grundy from Injustice 1.
Oh yeah.
But really only in the corner can that be utilized. But a massive life deficit coming out now. He has to be careful even trading now, whereas before Infectious couldn't really afford to trade these specials. Now that's not the problem.
Spending a bar on the mid, but every trade here is going to be good. Only really needs one more, maybe a little bit of chip, and he's going to be good. Shaz has the round. He's got a lot of work to do, but he's got him in the corner. It's possible.
But Swamp Thing has a meter advantage and can heal himself with that. So even if Shaz does damage here, Infectious is going to have the option to make this life lead even more of a problem.
Going in for the chip. Oh, the last minute overhead, but it is going to be a mix-up between overhead or log kick, and Shaz dedicated.
Well played. Big adjustment coming up from Infectious, making those reads on that full screen game. And I mean, one good read on a vine drill. Swamp Thing's jump goes really far, and his jump 2 has immense reach. So if you make a good read on that jump in and you land that hit, that could be 450 damage plus.
A huge element here, I think, is just getting a good start. You know, in that second game that Shaz took so dominantly, he had that good start, so he couldn't start taking those trades.
Actually looks like Shaz is contemplating perhaps a third character here, maybe going back to Catwoman. I mean, this, again, he's now down 2-1. This will be the character he's locked into for the rest of the set, so he's going to have to think carefully here about what he wants to go with.
I mean, the win was dominant, but it's only one game, right? How much can you truly learn from one game?
The game he took from Ivy was very one-sided, but the adjustment was swift. You know, Infectious immediately made that change to what he was doing, and now it's up to Shaz to basically return the favor.
An immediate conversion, but again, another dropped combo, so he's done very minimal damage, and the plus frames on the down 1, making the grab so dangerous. If they'd wake up, an immediate adaptation, but oh, I think he might have tried to whiff punish, but he just walks into the second hit of that string.
Yeah, Shaz gets the combo this time. That's going to be a full combo. Nice damage. Oh no, misses the end, which gets him the trait for free.
Yeah, the important thing there was actually the splat missed. The second you don't get the splat, it's harder to set up, but clearly not too bad for Shaz, and another way better start going in for that bark skin, reduced damage.
It basically completely nullifies chip damage, so you can actually afford to block these trades now. Oh, there's a log, doesn't quite make its mark. Oh, recovers in time. I don't think any of us were actually expecting that vine grab there. Oh, only just misses with the jump too. Oh, forward dash in.
Good block on the low there. Really good reactions. He's blocking low, then when he sees the forward 3, he'll stand up on reaction accordingly.
There's that block damage coming through. You can see Infecxious just walking him down, but you have to be careful taking that much chip. Oh, wow! That would have been huge if that Vine Grab connected. The thing about Infecxious is he's on the back foot right now, but he has spent years and years and years playing big grapplers and walking you down. You know, so this is no stranger to him. Indeed, but now he has this much of a life deficit. He has to be careful. Any sort of damage he takes here can be difficult, unless he's willing to spend it all on that health regen if he can hit the green thumb, which is where a lot of his damage has actually been coming from.
Absolutely, but he's taken so much chip, and Shaz, just that brick wall of defense. Poison Ivy can put up that absolute defensive wall, and it's nice to see Shaz. This is why he's made that character change, and it's clearly working out for him. No bar on the side of Shaz, but you know, Ivy does a great job of building it up. Trait has disappeared. Spencer's only bar on this. Ooh, he just missed. That's 2 times now. It's not quite right, but there we go, the jump back. Oh, no confirm coming out from Infecxious. It can have been a huge situation for him to maybe make a comeback there. There's a big jump in. No clash coming from side of Infecxious. He does it late, but we'll get a lot of health back here if he chooses to spend the bar. We'll see what he does. He's no doubt going to spend some of it just to get some health guaranteed. 3 bars, in fact.
Most effective way of getting health back is getting that 30 with 3 bars. Getting the 4th only give you an additional 3%, so not really worth everything. And you can, especially Swamp Thing, needs the bar to get the launch too.
Well, Shaz's back is to the wall here, so if Infecxious gets a good sequence, it's going to be, you know, fantastic. But as I've said, that Shaz fighting his way out, going in for the meter burn, going to go for the restand. See what he finishes.
I was really
wow, down 1 check.
There's actually a really nice confirm coming out from Shaz too, but there's the heal coming through from Infecxious. Good blocking overhead again.
Oh, goes straight over him. Wow.
Okie dokie. And he's going to go for repositioning also. Another big thing he can do off green thumb. He's on match point now. If he can keep Shaz in the corner, he's in big trouble because he's got no bar. Yeah, he can't go for the roll. There's the block. Plus frames. Oh, challenges it with a down 1. It's going to work.
I think he was probably expecting him to maybe block low in anticipation of the log kick, but not today. And now this is a great situation for Shaz. He's got the full screen. He's got the chip. He's got the sequence with the character power. And there we go. Now he's in big trouble.
Oh, Barkskin jumps the drill. Shaz has to play this very carefully. Gets the launch. Doesn't quite ready for the confirm.
Oh, and the catch on the drill right as he leaves the ground. But again, it came down to... And actually, look at the clock. 6 seconds left. We almost saw our very first timeout.
Wow, that's actually a good point. I can't remember the last time we saw a timeout in Injustice 2.
I don't think I've ever seen an Injustice 2 timeout. Oh, first hit! This is very pivotal.
That's actually huge for Infecxious, because now Shaz doesn't have the bar. Tries to go for the trip guard. Good blocks and overhead again. Oh, that low's going to tag, but there's a block second time.
Oh, there's the low at the last minute. A very weird sort of special to get hit by, really. And there's another green thumb. The heal.
Massive amount of damage coming through. Oh, good block on the low. Big pushback too. Right put at that distance that Shaz wants him to be.
But now Infecxious, again, can start taking those trades if he wants to make that read.
He's walking though. Shaz doesn't want to do any drills. There's the whiff punish. Misspaced 4-3 from Shaz. This could be a huge amount of damage.
And that's it. Walk him in the corner. Don't spend bar here. You're opting to keep it. Good bait on the delayed wake up. Doesn't get much off it. The jump off the green thumb. The first time we've seen that.
So that could be a full combo too. There's a nice confirm coming out from Shaz. Huge damage. And he has the full screen to work with.
No wake up today. Oh, spending loads of bar on this, but the low at the last minute.
Yeah, delays it this time. Shaz making himself tricky.
I think that was a really good decision. He did a really good job of fighting his way out of the corner. If he stayed in that corner, he would have lost the game.
Yeah, Shaz played that really well. It all came off a good read on that green thumb.
Now he's just getting zoned out. Has to be so careful here. Every single time he takes damage, he's not in a great spot.
Oh my lord! Her doing a button made that reach.
The jump into interactable. Has to be so careful now. And the interactable to answer back. He's still got a couple more of them left.
That's there's 2 left, but Shaz, starved to meet, only has 1 left to go with.
The second these disappear, Infecxious will be in control, but just look at how much hits he's landing here.
Oh, now uses it, yeah. Chip to get the trait. Good situation for Shaz.
I think Infecxious just waiting it out. He's built 1 bar, on the verge of building a second.
All jumps clean over.
Oh, again, the green thumb. But the danger here is that he's now got the entire full screen to work with.
Oh, jumps it.
Oh, did you hear that? Donk!
I did. I think
everyone in this room heard that one.
Trait is back, though. Infecxious can't let him do this.
This full screen game is very dangerous for Ivy because it's individual hits. It's hard to clash. I know he's just gone in for clash, but that could have been way worse.
Still, though, 2 bars. He's going to have 2 left. That can be green thumb heal. That can be damage potential.
Gets again, jump in!
Almost full screen. Good read from Infecxious. Shaz has been doing a good job of making himself hard to get opened up by that, but now it's crucial. Oh, wow, that is actually going to connect. Doesn't have the bar
drop combo!
But there's the anti-air going in for the trait.
He needs to make sure he doesn't get hit a single time. Oh, the trait isn't quite hitting him. Oh, from behind. Execution error. Wow, this is a scramble. A whip punish. He has a clash though. Isn't doing it. He hasn't got the meter advantage. Oh, he spins the bar. That's going to hurt. Oh, huge chunk of damage. Good block on the log. A jump. Clean. Has to wager. This is last minute. But no, Infexious can stop him from getting health back.
He can stop him from getting health back, but can he stop him from summoning the trait? That really is the last read here.
Oh, he does. Tries to stop him. One good trade here will end the game for Infecxious. Shaz needs to be so careful. Only a little bit of trait left. It's gone. And now, one bad trade,
with
and
the
it will be
lead.
done. Infecxious with a great spot. The safe string, the jump back, the whiff. He gets a clean jump in. Hang on a minute. The conversion. That's going to be game over. Shaz pulls it back and takes it over Infecxious. I mean, that was all the way up until the very end. Could have been anyone's game.
He only just built the bar for that meter burn vine drill as well. He didn't have the bar to work with until that last hit before the vine connected. It came down to the absolute last moment. Wow. I mean, Swamp Thing versus Ivy, the character choice really did help. I mean, he hesitated going towards Catwoman at the end. Imagine if he went to Catwoman, that might not have been the same, but character choice is crucial, and that kind of proves it. If you can play the full screen game against Swamp Thing, it's going to be always better for you, but it was just that final decision. He got that one clean hit, and it's kind of weird, really. At the last possible moment, even though it was a matchup of just, I'm going to keep you away because I'm Poison Ivy, in the final moments, Swamp Thing was the one that could zone out Ivy. You know, you almost never see it, but in that one circumstance, that's the way it was, and you know he recovered really well from that. So I'm really happy to see Swamp Thing though. I mean, he is one of the funnest characters to watch, I think, and very underrepresented, I think. Not a lot of people use him at all, but when we do see him, especially when it's a player that's been putting time in, right? It's not just someone that's there for the hell of it. Like Infecxious has really got a tidy Swamp Thing, and it kind of showed a lot through there. And we're getting quite a way through this now. We've been at this for about an hour so far. I believe we've got BioHazard coming up to the stage.
Spotted that as well.
Going to be moving on to maybe some Bane, maybe some Harley, maybe some Deadshot, Red Hood. No, BioHazard, quite a few characters at his disposal now.
And they're all Batman characters.
That's a good point.
They're pretty much all Batman characters. I mean, that's probably a coincidence, right? But either way, a nice sort of like impressive pool. But the question is, what character does he actually go with? So Kyzertron, we know Kyzertron's going to be going with Cyborg because big fan of his robot characters in fighting games. I know he's been really enjoying Injustice 2. Cyborg's been the character he's been playing a fair amount of, and after the patch, I think Cyborg's in a much better place as well because his bad matchups got addressed somewhat. I know Deadshot's still not the funnest thing from a personal standpoint, but
it's a bit more of a comfortable spot for Cyborg, especially going into the patch now with the state the game's currently in. But Kyzertron really is a NetherRealm OG for the UK scene overall. Kyzertron might not have been, he might not be at every tournament, he might not be, at every session, but he always plays. He's always been there. He doesn't have as much time as other players, I think, to really dedicate. You know, he's a family man. He has other priorities outside of Injustice at the moment, but still, a very good player for the amount of time he can play. And like you said, a cyborg player. He doesn't make it easy for himself, but he has the knowledge, and whether or not it will work against BioHazard, I guess we'll have to wait and see. BioHazard has a bunch of characters. I think Bane could be a good pick versus Cyborg.
I think against Cyborg, actually, quite a few of BioHazard's characters do quite well versus Cyborg's characters, so it really is a mixed bag who he's going to go with, I don't know. But Bane is the character that put BioHazard on the map. You know, that was the character that really sort of cemented him as a dangerous player within the NetherRealm scene. And then, you know, throughout Mortal Kombat X, he kind of really sort of premiered Ferritor, was the Ferritor.
My favorite thing about BioHazard is, in Injustice 1, he was basically the premier sort of Bane specialist. Like, Bane, one trick, just played Bane in tournaments, basically was kind of his one character.
Till the bitter end.
But that obviously opened up problems. You know, if you encounter trouble matchups, characters that really did not make it easy for you as a character specialist. Now going into Injustice 2, BioHazard immediately out of the gate was just like, okay, Harley Quinn, other characters that cover the matchups I need, and Deadshot is one of those. Now this, like you just said, this is not a nice matchup for Cyborg.
This matchup sucks. There's no two ways about it. This matchup is very bad for Cyborg. It's just like, he outzones Cyborg first of all, but in many instances where Cyborg would be able to sort of trade projectiles and come off and either trade, be in a good situation for himself, the danger against Deadshot is Deadshot recovers so quickly off that back forward one that you never trade against Deadshot. Deadshot will recover and then block your projectile and then either hit you outright or knock you out of the air if trying to go for an instant air shot. It'll be interesting to see how Kyzertron sort of tries to handle this matchup because really it's going to be an uphill battle. But
Well,
If you're
Kyzertron
gonna
has
play
always had a
Cyborg.
very effective way of playing NetherRealm games. Now, I actually haven't seen him play Injustice 2 too much personally, so I'm quite excited to see how he tackles this. But BioHazard, we've seen him, and we know he is solid as a rock. One of the best players from Canada of all time from NetherRealm, easily.
Now, immediately in with the meter drain. Understands that I think he doesn't even want to knock back, doesn't want to go for damage. The meter drain bullets will be fantastic at dealing with Cyborg because he needs that bar for any damage.
Oh, wow, good read coming out from Kyzertron immediately.
Goes in for the knockdown. Good block on the cross-up, but BioHazard still in control of the set so far. Trying to get out with the grappling hook.
I actually really like the use of that grappling hook, though. Kyzertron realizing he cannot really compete at that long-range distance, so use the grappling hook, get in, try and close that distance down.
Unfortunately, wasn't quite able to confirm the 1-2 back 2 into uppercut. I'm pretty sure that's what Kyzertron tried to do, and he would have done a lot more damage there, but recovered nicely. The problem is now he's full screen. This is not where you want to be against Deadshot.
Well, there's that delay. That's a really powerful thing Deadshot can do when he really has you sort of conditioned to
wow.
micro walk in between those high shots. Just all of a sudden going for the meter burn, so all of a sudden you might accidentally just walk into the rest of it.
Unfortunately, now at this range, it is very difficult for Cyborg to sort of recover from this because no projectiles will reach. You're kind of forced to try and close in the space. His tools for getting in from sort of that jump distance are really not the best, especially with the distance of the back one, but nice, clean jump in. Kyzertron finding a way.
I actually think Kyzertron has been consistently trying to cancel into the uppercut for damage, but hasn't been quite getting it as cleanly as he might need.
This could be a fantastic wager because he's going to either reset it to neutral or get health back. We'll see how much BioHazard tries to undo. No, opts to keep his bar. And again, this is the one part of the screen Cyborg can somewhat control. When he's got the opponent's back to the wall and he's got jump distance, them doing projectiles becomes a bit risky. They've got to make a hard read.
Oh, gets the down one. Oh, delayed. There's
Oh.
the gap. Oh, now this is a trouble situation. That Red Sun Prison, left-hand side interactable, shooting that drone is great for keep away characters.
I just realized what stage we're on. That is a very good point. And the armor to interrupt the gap between 1-1-2. I mean, the knowledge.
BioHazard, yeah, he's not using it immediately though. He's trying to keep himself as unpredictable as possible. There's the overhead. Spends the bar. No,
That's it.
Yeah, no wager coming out from Kyzertron used earlier on. And even though he had all that bar to work with, there's the patience coming through from Bio.
Completely. I mean, if it's a Deadshot versus Cyborg, Deadshot absolutely can be the most defensive character he wants to be. But I think actually fought really well. Kyzertron did play that matchup very smartly.
Nice read on the jump in though from Bio. Getting that first hit. Taking that bar away from Cyborg. We've seen that can be very important. Cyborg, I think, maybe being one of the lower damage characters in the game without access to bar. I mean, he outside of forward 3, he can't launch without it. Unless he lands a floor rumble or a missile, but very hard to land those realistically outside a setup. That's what I mean, right? It's almost like traditional meterless damage. He doesn't have a lot of options there. A nice life lead already coming out from Bio, going in for those meter drain bullets.
I mean, we said it in game number 1, if you take the meter away from a Cyborg, you're cutting his damage more than in half because he can't go for meter burn down back 2, which he needs to do.
Nice challenge on those air shots though. Kyzertron has really started to just control that sweep distance from a range, and it has BioHazard opting to go for air shots now. But unfortunately misses a combo. That could have been a huge amount of damage as it was a meter burn back 3.
Oh, wow. And using that grappling hook, special cancelling to try and sort of create space. The danger in this situation is trying to create space by choice against Deadshot is kind of risky.
If you've got the life lead, I can kind of see it. Like if you're trying to bait a wake up or you're trying to put him in a bad situation, but if you don't have the life lead and you try and just increase that distance between you, it's only a situation that Deadshot's going to be coming off better in.
Again, that full screen game, it's just becoming harder and harder to deal with. He's only got 1 bar of meter, but this full screen game is going to allow him to build even more.
There's that air shot. The adjustment from BioHazard really has already found an option for this grappling hook in.
Oh, wow! Oh no, tried to go for a full combo. That no doubt would have taken the round as well. On top of being very stylish.
I think Kyzertron, he's making the right reads and his game plan is good. It's just his execution is the thing that's letting him down the most at the moment.
That's always the worst thing because, you know, clearly Kyzertron he's making these reads and he's right. You know, like he's on point. Just not able to get the damage.
Oh, the drone seals the deal 2-0.
That's why stages are important.
I mean,
I think
we actually say this a lot, but it is always going to be true. If you drop your combos and you find a situation where you spend a lot of your resources, you invest heavily, you get the launcher, and then you drop your combo, what happens there? You lose. Obviously, the damage is the biggest one, but also any Oki you might have had, any pressure situations on knocking down the opponent, and also it's a mental thing. If you drop a combo and know how much you've basically just wasted, it can kind of get you down on the heat of the moment, and it can maybe tilt you in that situation of, okay, right, well, I messed that up, now I'm in a much worse situation.
Now we'll see how Kyzertron can recover. Joker's Playground as a power character is going to get a whole bunch of unblockable projectiles in combination of what he's already got. The danger is against Deadshot, I don't think you can really sort of land those because he will just shoot you out of the air.
Might be able to on a knockdown. Like if Cyborg can actually find space to get out his trait, that can combine quite well with power interactables. However, Deadshot, I mean, like we're seeing right here, he always has a projectile on the screen. You don't really have the time to get your trait out, even if it's the tracking or the rumor on the floor. It's quite difficult for him to safely get that against Deadshot, but a nice read coming up from Kyzertron, but misses the special cancel.
Unfortunately, the down back 2 does actually give Cyborg quite a nice chunk of damage too, but as like we said, his read was on point. He got the neutral jump too, just didn't quite finish his plate, damage-wise. BioHazard looking unbelievably comfortable. Completely even on meter, and in many ways this is better for BioHazard there. The back 1 into the down back 2. I mean, it's becoming harder and harder. It's match point for BioHazard just like that.
Quite low on bar, but we see Deadshot, how fast he builds that up.
Another anti, I mean, at this stage, Cyborg with this much bar from this range can't really do a whole lot with it.
But this is one of those hard situations, right? Cyborg without a life lead versus Deadshot, it is incredibly difficult for him to bring it back up again. Especially when you're playing as patient as Bio is. BioHazard playing this matchup so well.
There's a jump in, going in for the run cancel. Nice block on the overhead though, the last possible minute.
And a nice solid, I mean, this is just overall a solid game. A solid play coming out from BioHazard.
The challenge into forward 3, knowing he's going to press a button. Very smart. A bit too far away for the command grab though. But like I said, Kyzertron, his reads have been on point. Forced to use the clash. And in many ways, this is the best he's going to get, because you're not going to be able to spend the bar otherwise from that distance.
And Bio activates the fire bullets, wants that damage over time to tick. This game could have seconds left in it. BioHazard playing it very safely.
That air shot making his jump arc a little bit more unpredictable. The 1-1-2.
For the first time in the series, Kyzertron is able to get a knockdown that gives him that trait and ends up winning him the life bar, but it really just goes to show how difficult it is to actually get that out.
Yeah, the knockdowns are few and far between, but when you land a 1-1-2, you've got to make sure you go for either the target acquired or the trait, and Kyzertron has done it every single time. That's the block on the low. Oh, nice jump back to chase. Here comes Kyzertron. Lands a full hit, but again! Not that he even had the bar to confirm, because there was no bar there.
Well, that means that Kyzertron is going to be sent to losers, but to be honest, even though it was a 3-0, considering how hard that matchup is, I think he actually played really well. He played the matchup well. It's just like we said before, it was the execution. It was the ability to, once you've got that hit, confirm it into the most damage you can, just minimize the amount of work you've got to do to really finish whatever is left. And Cyborg, he doesn't tickle. If he spent the bar and has a launching potential, he can do quite a respectable amount of damage, especially in the corner.
Even outside of the corner, the real thing is hit confirming 1-2 back 2, because it's quite a long gap in between. It's easy to hit confirm with down back 2. Unfortunately, we didn't see that from Kyzertron at any point, but I think a big part of that was, the reads are all there, but like you said, it's just execution. But I really feel like if Kyzertron plays this game more and he tightens up the execution, he's clearly got the reads. His mind is there. He just needs to get his hands to sort of correlate at the same speed as that, because I think he would have a lethal Cyborg if he had more execution.
So BioHazard, one of those players that is currently looking really good in the Injustice Pro Series leaderboard in terms of points.
Man's got a lot of points.
And placed quite well at Vianality, but ultimately, versus fighting, getting those points now we're sort of approaching through, a lot of the premieres are sort of coming and going. You really need to get as much points as you can now to really solidify your spot in the top 16, the top 8. The more points you can get, the safer you will be in making the finals. And at tournaments like this, where we can see BioHazard is already playing as well as he is, you really want to get as much as you can. You don't want to be sitting there at the end of the season weighing, okay, now I just need to count these points. How much is my competition getting? How many points are they getting? Because let's not forget, Summer Jam is happening at the same time this weekend.
I was just about to mention
his competition that aren't at Versus Fighting are at Summer Jam. So there's two major events going on the same day. All these players really just desperately trying to get as much points as they can. I mean, you have to really hope that your competition doesn't do as well as you.
Well, this is a big weekend for Injustice in general, because not only do we have Versus Fighting here in Europe, we have Summer Jam over on the east coast of America the same weekend, but we also have Hometown Heroes. I mean, there is a lot of Injustice going on across, different skill levels, different parts of the world, and every single bit of it is starting to count significantly. Because your IPS points for both this and Summer Jam and Hometown Heroes, I mean, we are reaching the later stages of that to find out who qualifies for the finals.
So I do believe our next match is going to be Jinty from Electronic Dojo versus Euphemism. So it's
losers, though, big thing.
There, now we're in losers. This is going to be Birmingham versus Scotland. Euphemism, I think, was quite a last-minute addition to the tournament.
He decided, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah, he
that
knew
was going.
he knew he could attend like as last minute as it gets. I think it was yesterday. He was like, okay, I can finally go. Let me get on a train or catch a quick flight, whatever the fastest way of doing it from Glasgow. I assume a quick flight, right? That's like the most sensible thing to do.
I mean, a lot of people don't realise actually, if you're on the sort of like the bottom of the UK, around sort of the London area, it's actually faster and in some ways cheaper to fly.
Oh, in many ways cheaper.
I just in case I was wrong, I wanted to kind of have that option select. But you can fly from London to Scotland, which is what many of the London guys do, going up to Hypespotting and other tournaments, because it's just a quicker and more efficient way to do it, even though it's one small part of the world. But this will be a losers bracket match because Youphemism did fall to XZoro in the winners bracket. He tried Captain Cold first, I believe, in his first match in pools, and then when he fought Zoro, tried to go in for a matchup actually sort of. Off the top of my head, kind of fails me. I believe he's been playing a lot of Catwoman. He has been using a lot of Catwoman. But also Black Adam. He's Black Adam too.
Almost every character in the game. I saw him using Captain Cold earlier as well, and Blue Beetle.
Youphemism is the king of random select tournaments in NetherRealm games.
He is the kind of guy.
He plays so many characters.
He's the kind of guy that the community will say mains random select, and that can be a bit of a blessing and a curse. We've already seen the most successful players in the scene really kind of specialize in a small handful of characters, sort of as a rule of thumb, especially in sort of the later stages of MKX. It was like that. Some players in Injustice 2 do that. Obviously, Slayer has access to a bunch, Sonic Fox has access to a bunch, and Tekken Master has always played many characters at a competitive level to really not pick yourself into a bad matchup. And Youphemism does that, but like with loads of characters, which can mean that you're spreading yourself quite thin. So if you're confident and very capable with a small handful, that could be great. But if you play like the board and you play almost every character in the game, you can spread yourself quite thin in terms of like how efficient you can really be with that character, depending on how much time you've put into them.
We're at an age where character teams are popular and in many ways required to succeed at the highest level of NetherRealm games.
To be fair, we saw Dragon was basically almost, I would say almost entirely Aquaman. He does have a pocket Black Adam, but Honeybee, Flash, Samij, Catwoman, Foxy now basically just Deadshot. There are a few exceptions here and there, but I think it goes to show how versatile you can be as a competitor, whether you really want to invest in just a main, a team, or just play the board.
Now, Robin versus Captain Cold. This is not a matchup that you see every day.
Superman longs from behind, like, oh, I wish I was playing. Let me out. I could
play
take on both of these fools.
He's had enough. He's had enough fun. Time to keep him back there, I think.
Captain Cold versus Robin. On paper, I can see this being a bit tough for Robin. I mean, we said before, Captain Cold being one of those characters that thrive against characters without a strong traditional projectile to really stop him from charging his gun. Robin has the Birdarang, but, I mean, you hit him when he does that, and it disappears. You can really do a good job to sort of charge him. But Jinty, being one of those players that Birmingham-based, has always been quite good at NetherRealm games. You just don't get to see him too often, but when we do, he always is quite impressive.
Oh, Jinty does actually compete in major tournaments consistently throughout the year. Almost every single year he attends EVO, so he's been playing in major tournament scenarios. The tournament setting's not going to be new to him.
Oh, for sure.
Already, actually.
Yeah, really strong here. Unfortunately misses a combo, but still has quite a nice life lead. Put in the corner, Youphemism tries to with a standing one, but he's just jumping heavy for his troubles. And a nice solid life lead coming out from Jinty immediately.
It means that I think, Captain Cold's not going to be able to play as much of a defensive game as he wants to, because if you're going to be a defensive character, having the life lead is a major part of getting that.
Now, this is one of the biggest things about playing against Captain Cold. If you don't have a projectile, the deep freeze, that meter burn puddle, almost functions as almost like a Sub-Zero ice clone. Just that stun, that is just a problem for you to walk into. And if he's sitting behind it, just charging his gun while that's on the floor, it's quite difficult to approach. You see him charging, you want to hit him, you want to do damage, but if he's got that deep freeze in front, it can be difficult to do it safely.
Especially if you're a character that doesn't have an amazing projectile from full screen to get rid of it or kind of wait out the puddle. Here we go. He's got level 2. What's he going to do with it? The forward 3, wow! Forcing a clash early, but even after this clash, I believe he's still actually going to have his dome ready.
Most likely. I think Jinty's going to, about 2 bars here spent. Get a nice chunk of life back. You see Youphemism has that level 2, that snow globe is stocked. They cannot waste it. Have to be careful.
Very patient.
Make himself as hard to approach as possible here.
Burn. A big change to Captain Cold was that
there it is.
Wow, there we go.
Snow Globe is out. This is a difficult situation. Jinty has to get away, which lets him charge up another level 2. Very well managed by Youphemism.
And he's got another Snow Globe just like that. And because he's a character without an amazing projectile from full screen, that'll allow him to build it. Oh, is he trying to go for level 3 here?
If he did the down 1-2 a little bit faster, that might have been a little bit better. Doesn't have the bar to get the hit confirmed, but going to go for a staggered throw instead. Now he has the bar.
About to say, here comes the globe, because he built it, that's going to be an easy conversion, but no, drops it, but doesn't matter too much. This is a strange exchange.
Jinty lost quite a lot of health by standing in that, though. Very low now, 10 points of health remaining. Has a bar, so Youphemism has access to a clash. Does he go for it? No, he's holding on to it.
Trying to keep his wake up, I think, yeah, for good reason. I was actually going to mention it before we saw the snow globe, but adjustments have been made to Captain Cold's wake up, right? Where the meterless wake up is now way more unsafe, but the meter burn is faster and safer, which is why I think we see Captain Cold players save their bar for that 1 bar wake up now, because it's better than it was before.
So the standard wall has less pushback than it did before, but the meter burn wall comes out so much faster. You see there, he just boots it as significantly quicker than it was beforehand. It's a bit better of an option now. It's almost like a reset to neutral. We just get out of my face move, and already we can see Youphemism has access to that level 2 trait. Jinty trying to approach, but Youphemism keeping himself quite well on the defense.
Injustice has always had quite a high element of like micromanaging, so making sure you get that level 2 like snow globe reminds me very much like what a Sinestro player would do in Injustice 1 for the same kind of reason.
Oh, nice restand from Jinty. There's a sweep.
There's that deep freeze.
Oh, yeah, opts to use it to get the dome on the screen. Most likely going to be able to get another safe charge. That stun is sitting in front.
He did a huge amount of damage. I mean, he didn't go for a single bit of charge there, but oh wow, walking right into a deep freeze.
So there's the air tech, but a nice reset coming out from Youphemism. Has access to level 2 trait once again. And there's the wall to take things down. Youphemism looking really strong.
Now he's going into this round, but the dome goes for it again. Stuck. No way out.
They're preemptive down 2. I think it sounded like Jinty just got frozen as that wall connected. Oh no! That could have been an opportunity to just even things up a bit, but drops the combo.
Wake up whips, but a bit too far away for Jinty to really capitalize. He's going to take the round on that clean combo afterwards and just jump in. But I mean, at this stage, he's having a hard time closing into the gaps. I mean, that's one of those things. Captain Cold, massively defensive character. There's the dome.
Oh, optical combo. Then. There we go. That was actually a nice confirm attempt, though, from Youphemism, going for that standing heavy. And on one of the changes Captain Cold had, standing heavy being a lot faster than it was before. Just buffed in every way, really. You can see him really just backdashing, trying to create that space to charge this gun. He designed that gun himself. He wants to use it. It's like a kid with a toy. He just wants to play with it.
Okay, so he just got hit.
Oh, nice confirmed! Oh, could have turned that into a freeze, though.
Oh, wow, the reaction to go straight through the charge. That was almost disastrous for Youphemism, because he got hit going in for the dome, and he lost the bar and got no reward. Hang on. Full combo. Here comes Jinty.
There's the setup. Oh, good blocks from Youphemism. Oh, hasn't seen it from behind.
It's the meter burn. Safer. Oh, no. Oh, no, the wall.
The stage just got a lot smaller. Oh, this is your home now. You cannot leave.
Oh, dearie me. Poor old Robin. He just wants to play the game. This isn't a one-player game.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was actually really well played from Youphemism. That's a big thing about Captain Cold, is that meter burn hail from above creates that wall. Usually, it's quite easy to get around for a lot of characters. However, if you have them in the corner at that sort of like sweet spot, that perfect range, you can create a very small stage for your opponent all of a sudden. And he had the level 2 stocks. That was just really good micromanagement from Youphemism.
If by small stage, you mean literally the size of Robin, and just Robin, you would be correct.
And then it got really chilly all of a sudden, and he died.
Right, straight into the next game.
Nice meter burn roll, because he used the bar on the roll, didn't have it for the meter burn launcher. Still though, nice amount of damage. Jinty finds himself with a life lead.
Good exchange. Jumping into the deep freeze though. Unfortunate.
Meager damage coming out of it though. So Jinty found a bit of a lifeline there.
This is a clean adaptation, just the second he now sees the deep freeze, he just kind of sits full screen and then just goes in for the Batarang, but hasn't really stopped him from building it so far. As Captain Cold's in the dome, Jinty's not going to be in too much danger. Has to be so careful because the deep freeze!
Opted not to meter burn it, didn't want to go into the freeze.
I mean, that would have been a death sentence, 100%.
I mean, Robin's only way through the deep freeze on the floor is either going to be the meter burn roll, which obviously costs a bar, or the air flip, which can be read and punished. But at the same time, the patience is showing through. If you just sit there and let him charge, he's going to keep getting level 2 for sure. But, I mean, it really is stacked against you. You have to make a hard read on how to get in through it. Nice confirm.
I actually like the range as well from that jump 3, because down 2 is an amazing anti-air, but it's close range. And again,
oh no!
The wall into another one, just to sort of try and play the platform again. But wow, no, a combo because the wall was right there. That is so sick!
Oh my god! No! How can you drop the swag at the very end? Youphemism almost had the most impressive combo we've seen all day, but messed it up at the very end.
That would have been the greatest combo of all time. The tournament is over. Finish it. Youphemism won. We can all go home. But he dropped it at the last minute.
Still though, I mean, what a situation. Jinty's actually playing this really well. Actually has a life lead here. but no bar to work with. That's going to be where it's difficult, but Youphemism doesn't have bar for a deep freeze, but we'll have one now. I'm still so disappointed. Oh, Verduran gets eaten up by the wall. Youphemism doesn't have a bar for the deep freeze, so just have to be careful how he tries to approach. Jinty playing this really well now. Moments away from building it, spending the bar on the pushback. Here comes Jinty. Wow, good catch. Oh, I think he actually maybe either want to keep things unclashable or just dropped it. I mean, either way. The thing is, back 3 was the combo extension there. I think Jinty might have just dropped it there, unfortunately. Nice throw coming out from Youphemism. Jinty has a bar. Here comes the dome. He has to be so careful. The second that dome goes into play, he's in big trouble. Tries to confirm, but misses it. No! Over the deep freeze at the last minute. Gets over clean. Jinty with the adjustment, now playing around it. I think he's paying a bit more of a closer attention to Youphemism's meter, which is really the most crucial thing here. Instant jump one. Oh, yeah, good stuff coming out from Youphemism. The mustard special. Oh dear. He's got 1.5 bars already though. We've seen how dangerous this dome can be, but wow, challenging the wall there. Oh, opts to spend one of the traits just to get these icicles now. So Jinty's going to hurt himself for doing block damage. That is going to help him. It's another matchup where Robin has to get in, right? So if you've got that armor and you're able to sort of like make the opponent do damage to themselves, Robin has no choice but to be at that range. It is though, however, we're seeing that it is that level 2 trait that is kind of doing the most work here. So every time you go for those ice armor, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for you to get it out. Good catch, setting him sort of within jump distance again. Built 1.5 bars again. He's going to use the knockdown to guarantee the dome. Very smart. And again, there's another bomb. Excellent trade, but gets blocked. You can tell Youph has to be kind of careful. He doesn't want to get hit out of the dome core, because the second he does that and no dome comes out, he's going to lose, but he's going to save it. No, tries to take the round with it instead. Very smart, secure it, match point. The dome is down, but all this space in between. We see all the bar on the side of Jinty. Jinty needs this round desperately, and there we go. He's going to get it. Now this is crucial for Jinty. Youphemism is cornered. He doesn't have the space to work with. He has 1 bar here, but how is he going to use it? Being so careful. Those 4 bars, catches 1 already, easy confirm. Oh, but Jinty lets him out of the corner, that could be disastrous. No wake up though, Jinty has the plus frames. Patience from Youphemism, looking for his moment, gets over clean. This is unbelievably close. The big thing here is that Jinty has so much more meter. And even though he's full screen, doesn't want to get caught summoning it, but hang on a minute, back 3 off the flip. Oh, tries to go for the unclashable, but misses it. I mean, these trades are only ever going to be in Jinty's favor. Oh, there's the backdash chase down! Now they are even on bar here, they're going to trade out. 2 bars each. They both spend 2. Jinty trying to sort of keep it full screen, stop him from going in for it, but now he's going to summon the dome. That was a nice preemptive down 2, knowing that Jinty was likely to try and just get a hit there. Oh, the icicles again. Slows down the snow dome. Chooses not to go for the dome. Tries to spend 1 bar on the reduction instead. We'll see if out of the way. We're going to see if the read pays off, but right now, maybe not. I think he would have much rather have had the setup, the 4-3 to go through. Jinty's still alive, but wait! We are 2-2 at this stage. Jinty with the adjustment now brings it back 2 games apiece, so we're going to see a complete reverse 3-0. Selecting the new stage at the very least, maybe. I mean, this is Youphemism. He does play a lot of characters. We might see him change character completely here. I mean, the question is who? He plays so many different characters. To be fair, Captain Cold would be an answer to Robin. So it's not like you can really go and pick a worse matchup for him, because Captain Cold is kind of the go-to for that. But Youphemism, we know he plays a lot of characters who also might do just as well versus Jinty's Robin. Playing well too. This is the huge thing, is that Jinty is now... A big adaptation was trying to... The second he sees a deep freeze, those batarangs are just keeping him in check. You know, it's not going to be as easy for him to charge it. And then when he has the dome, I think that one time Youphemism got hit going for the dome has kind of almost deterred him to go for it so willy-nilly. He does not want to lose it and lose the trait at the same time. Youphemism taking his time though, really considering this. Let's not forget this is loser's bracket. The loser of this next match is going to be getting eliminated. So if you want to take a few minutes to just think about who you're going to be playing, now's the time to do it. There is no more second chances. Let's give these guys a minute to think about the matchup they want to play. Looking like he might go back to Captain Cold. I think Jinty's experience is really starting to show through that. Like you said, Jinty is no stranger to playing on the big stage. He's been at EVO multiple times, countless UK majors across multiple games. Jinty is just a general good player at fighting games overall. He also helps run VSFighting. Oh yeah, which is quite a nice little bonus. He's not just wearing that jersey for the sake of it. He is part of the organization staff. You know, this guy is very involved and clearly is good at them too. We might seek Catwoman here because Youphemism does play Catwoman. He's used her for quite a while, but going back to Captain Cold, we're going to go for the re-random stage. So the change here is only going to be Brainiac's ship being the stage we're playing on. The stage definitely hasn't been quite as impactful as it has been in other matches so far, but at the very least now, that background bounce in the middle can be good for both of these, two characters that are quite intensive to meter to launch. And now both obviously have that bounce in the middle. The one thing about Brainiac's ship is that the bounce has a different timing to most, so it's quite unique. Very easy for players to kind of mistime their combos on this stage. There's the patience from Youphemism. Jinty knows he has the plus frames. All catches him, blocking low. Jinty's going to try and be aggressive here, no doubt. He does not want to give the setup to Captain Cold, but hang on. He's now got his back to the wall. Here comes Youphemism. Good block on the overhead. Jinty tries to fire his way out the corner. Oh, reverses input. Nice stuff from Youphemism. Oh, no. Punish on the wake up. And there's that low. Youphemism trying to stop him at the moment. There's the charge time. Clearly himself 1.5 bars. A little bit deterred earlier to try and charge it up. He's given himself 1.5 bars of trade, but at what cost? Gets a full combo. Here comes Jinty again. Big trip guard. Set up. Is the wake up? No. Maybe he tries to chase down a backdash with that one, but it doesn't matter. Match point. I mean, this is the version of a very slow reverse 3-0. This has been a long series. Oh, jumps straight onto it. This could be great for Youphemism. Going to push him to the corner. Oh, there's the air tech. A nice reset. Oh, there's the wall. He wants to charge up as much as possible. There's the deep freeze. Or the snow dome, I should say. Now he has time. Does he charge another trait? Jinty is just content sitting here. Jinty still has a life lead. There's the armor. I'm actually inclined to think that maybe he's getting that by accident. Normally, if you try and walk back and charge your gun, you might accidentally get that, because the command for that is back and trait. Uh-oh. That's a full combo. Oh, he misses it. Charged it a little bit too much, but he did land a clean wake-up attack. This is match point, both players. The closest series we've seen today. Final life bar. Meteorburn rolls out of the corner. There's a sweep. Oh, there's the read, but he drops the combo. Might be punished quite heavily for that. Goes in for the dome. The air-to-air full combo. Here comes Youphemism. Doesn't actually get a major amount out of that dome, but he gets a clean jump in. Such even on life, but Jinty with the bar advantage, 2-0. So Youphemism having no bar is going to be a bit of a problem here for him. Not going to be able to win their wages. There we go. Spends his only bar on the wall. Oh, there's a full punish! Youphemism cannot clash here. If he does, he's... Well, actually, no, he might be able to. That's the trade out. Thought Jinty had an extra bar, was just about to build it. I think what's going to go on here is that after the exchange of bar, the full screen is going to allow him to build. Jinty held on to his bar, though, just in case he maybe gets opened up. Oh, no, he spent it on the overhead. He's got to be careful now. The second he gets the dome, he's in big trouble. Pushes him far away. The dome is here. Can he use it? Jinty, he's going to have to be as aggressive as he wants. But wait, the first time he's gone for it. Oh, we catched him. He's very low. Spends the bar on the wall. Oh, there we go. The dome is out. Oh! He gets the burnerang. Youphemism tried to shoot the projectile, but Jinty just got it out at the last minute. And Jinty is going to advance over Youphemism. It's a reverse 3-0 from a very strong 2-0 deficit, I might add. The second we saw the dome, it's so easy to go, right, that's it, he's done. You know, because it's that's what you think, right? That would be the go-to is, okay, dome's on the screen, now he's moving slow, he's probably going to guarantee something here, but Jinty just threw that burnerang out at the perfect moment. I mean, look at that! Just in the nick of time. That projectile, I mean, I don't know if off the top of my head if 76 life is enough left to survive the projectile, but it would have been close at the very least. And being in the dome does damage to you, so even if it didn't kill by itself, being in the dome might have done enough. I mean, Shaz and Infexious, Jinty and Youphemism, we've had some ridiculous sets already today. Like, down like this much, this close, but, I mean, ultimately, one has to go through and one has to go out, or home. Unfortunately, Youphemism's case, he played so well, but at the end of the day, Jinty moving on with that Robin. I mean, that was just an adaptation. You know, Jinty just made that adjustment. That was a strong 2 games he lost initially to Youphemism, but being able to bring it back like that, I mean, it really is commendable just for how much composure that requires, especially in a matchup that you might A, not be familiar with, or B, might be bad for your character. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that obviously it is, but still, you know, at the same time, both players played that really well. We have a very good match coming up for you guys. It's going to be 2 real UK originals. OmegaK versus UndeadJim. Now, this is a versus fighting grand finals run back of Injustice 1. 3 years later, let's wind the clocks back to versus fighting 2014, which was the final Injustice Gods Among Us tournament we had in the UK. This was grand finals, and Omega won that before. Yeah, that was in fact Bane versus many characters. I was trying to think back who the characters were, but it was Martian Manhunter. It was Martian Manhunter. It was Green Lantern. Was it Green Lantern? I think it was Martian Manhunter, the Flash, and Superman. They were the kind of characters that UndeadJim kind of rotated between. But at the end of the day, the tournament went to OmegaK. This matchup is going to be entirely different. OmegaK doesn't play Bane anymore. He is the Gorilla God of Gorilla Grodd. He's been using this character since day one. And I mean, just go on the guy's Twitter, and I mean, you will see tech for days. The danger here is that Batman versus Grodd is a really hard matchup, and UndeadJim has a very, very dangerous Batman. But also, Grodd got a lot of love in the patch, the big one before. And we find ourselves in a situation where he has that guaranteed vortex as long as he's in his character power. You know, being able to get a bit more mileage out of his trait now, the faster startup in terms of like, you know, you can activate trait and cancel into one of his trait special moves a lot faster than you could before. Means his projectile immunity is a lot easier to set up. Generally, he gets a lot of damage off his stampede now. That's actually a really big thing, is his stampede now actually hurts, which is huge. But you know, whether we'll see that used, UndeadJim, one of the most fundamentally solid players, I think, in the UK. The main thing that lets UndeadJim down is, I suppose, pressure of a major tournament situation. UndeadJim is ridiculous, fundamentally, but when it comes to tournaments, he has got a tendency to crack under pressure. So here we go. It's going to be, I reckon, the button check would have been successful. It would have been a real show of what the matchup's going to be, because I would be surprised if he didn't pick Batman for this. This is actually OmegaK's favorite stage, so I think this is kind of like best case scenario, Gorilla City, but Gorilla Grodd versus Batman. Let's see who's going to be advancing. This is winner's action. The immediate change, the fact that you can now sort of almost 2-in-1 cancel your trait into the projectile immunity, and here comes OmegaK. Unfortunately, the projectile immunity ran out. Yeah, it was really well timed from UndeadJim there, managing to time his bats right as that immunity ran out. OmegaK just trying to leap his way out of the corner. There's the punish on the leap. A little bit too antsy with that already. Oh, there's a stampede going to connect. At least he's out of the corner. UndeadJim has a nice life lead. Oh, this is one of those changes here, isn't it? Oh, nice block on the cross-up, actually. Oh, there's a good read in that Meter Burn forward 3. Air tech from OmegaK just keeps himself alive. Block, trying to get himself back into a great situation. That's one thing Grodd doesn't need, bar really. And then it's the leap, full combo. Could have got the restand, but I don't think he quite thought he was in range for it. That's going to be a grab from UndeadJim, going to take it down. Now the trait is going to run out right as we go into this round, so OmegaK is going to have no bar and no trait. The advantage is definitely in UndeadJim's favor at the moment. Quite a rough start, I think, so far for Omega. I mean, UndeadJim's kind of just been all over him. Had a hard time just getting something going. Like, Grodd really is a character that needs to get like jump started, and if he can't get started, you can really sort of just keep the pressure laying on thick. He's got a great wake up attack, but if you're Batman, you've got the damage and setup and the punish. Oh, nice read! Oh, he comboed off the parry, full combo parry. Good stuff coming out from UndeadJim. Just the knowledge already, and had the I think it was in the driver's seat from the whole time, just from start to finish. That's definitely kind of how you deal with this character. Grodd has so much sort of setup potential, and he has actually one of the characters with a true vortex. But he needs to land that hit first, and if you're someone like Batman that can sort of keep him from doing that, it's definitely the kind of tool that you need. Full juggle, catches him airborne, here comes Omega. Ooh, the jump! That's going to be it, there's the restand, what's the mix-up? There's the block. Oh, catches him. There's at least he's going to build a lot of bar from that, and there's the combo from the parry. No, he misses it. Oh, and this is going to be Grodd, so that Meter Burn back 3 is going to do loads of damage, but no! Catches it, unfortunately, drops the combo. Because the Meter Burn Stampede would have killed on hit, but safe on block. Oh, good read from UndeadJim there. He's going to go for the leap there. He's going to get a knockdown. He's going to get guaranteed bats as well. Goes to the throw instead. I like the way UndeadJim went for that mechanical bat though, because obviously if he went for anything and the bat was going to hit him, there'll be a full combo. Kind of trying to cover his bases. That secret sweep, back to back. There's the immunity. Oh wow, caught out of the air. Still got a little bit of work to do. Immunity's going to be gone. Oh, that's going to hit him. Spent the bar too. Oh, Stampede's going to connect. Chunk of damage coming through. OmegaK is probably going to lose this life bar. Question is, how much damage can he do before it goes? Grab. I think maybe UndeadJim expecting something else. Oh, good block of that cross-up. Drops the Stampede cancel, but UndeadJim, I think he maybe expected the cancel to be successful. Didn't go for the punish, but UndeadJim with a massive meter lead. Full conversion. There's the restand, spending a second bar. Oh, no. Oh, and there's the air tech. That's going to get him hit for free. There's a full combo, though. Oh, but there's the clash coming out from UndeadJim. But a full combo into reset there. Very well timed. Would have been a full conversion into reset, too. Because you know OmegaK kind of has the cancels on deck, so when he lands that launcher, would have gone in for a down 2. There's the trade-off. One wager for another. He's going to get back almost as much health as he just took there, but the important thing is both players are going to have no meter whatsoever to work with. No, actually, no. Opts to hold onto the bar.
Oh, wow, that was just a chunky forward 3.
Oh, there's the Vortex. Oh, he doesn't guess right. He hasn't got a clash either. This is going to be death if he doesn't drop it. That's the full combo from Omega and the Gorilla God Vortex. That's the cheap leap. That's the P&D OmegaK special. Is when you use the trait, you go for that godlike pose in the air, and you get the hit frames, and you can go for either land behind, land in front, or the grab. All three will lead into a full combo, and it requires trait to do so. Now first hit goes to OmegaK. Has to sit there and respect the bats. Oh. Now here's that zoning game. This is what he really wants to be doing. As soon as you can see that OmegaK doesn't have access to his trait at the time, he's going to be getting as much projectiles on screen as possible. Build that bar. Make it hard for him to get that trait out safely. Oh, nice confirm coming out from UndeadJim. Yeah, the sheer speed of that down too, and a full combo too. Even though he dropped the combo, the background bounce giving him the hard knockdown, still going to be fantastic. There we go, guarantees the immunity. Push blocks just to try and get in. But that's why we're seeing UndeadJim, and right there, like, that's why he actually never went for the bat release, because it does nothing versus the immunity. Oh, big plus frames coming out from Omega. Challenges those Stampede cancels. UndeadJim with the knowledge. I actually think Omega went for a grab there. Looked like he started a grab animation. There's the loop. Another full combo for Jim. And that's going to be the round. No, drops it at the end. Oh, cancel the Stampede, but there we go. Maybe could have been chip damage. Looked a little bit too much to be chip at the time. Oh my god, just challenge it with a down 2. There's the low. Good block from UndeadJim. Oh, meter burns through. Again with the knowledge. If he pressed a button there, that would have been the round. So UndeadJim not pulling the trigger on that. Really smart, but wow, challenged by the meter burn Stampede. You can already see though, 186 damage on meter burn Stampede is good. Oh, the wake up! Full launcher coming out from UndeadJim, knowing that OmegaK was likely to run in there. Oh, neutral jumping in front of the big gorilla. I mean, that just does so much damage. He gets 500 minimum into setup. Oh, there's the unblockable. Oh, another big wake-up full combo, but doesn't have the bar yet. Will he just build it? No, not quite. Yeah, leaps out of the corner. Tries to whiff punish, but unfortunately those mechanical bats always ready to rock. Unfortunately, a bit too far away for the back 3, but wait, background bounce. Big whiff punish. Always going to get a safe trait setup, and UndeadJim knew it. Good wager. Get himself some health back and give that full screen distance. Maybe get some mechanical bats on the screen. No, holds onto the bar. Yeah, the important thing there definitely wasn't the damage save. It was getting out of that Grodd setup, because Jim, he lost the last round to it. Doesn't want to do it again. Safe call. Can't punish it with the bat because the immunity. Ah, no, caught at the last minute. There's really the wager. Timing. They're going to even things out at the very least. Going to reset things back to that neutral situation. Going to be quite a while before that Grodd trait is back into play. This is Grodd though. All he needs is one clean hit. UndeadJim, I don't think he's not going to give him the chance to land it. 2-1 at the moment. Close series though. I mean, definitely a back and forth one at the very least, and still in Gorilla City. It's a good stage for Omega at the very least, but still, I think it's looking good. Batman versus Grodd is something we don't get really to see too often in tournament, but definitely a bit back and forth at the moment. Because the thing about Grodd is that he hits like a truck. Yeah. Like at any point, if Omega opened him up one time, it would have been a huge amount of damage into a guessing situation. But what UndeadJim's defense has been incredible to avoid that from being a problem at any point anyway. That's a really clean block into first hit. His managing of meter too, like every time he clashes, it's when it's a super pivotal situation he doesn't want to take. You know, because he clashes not just damage, but the immense setup that Grodd was no doubt going to get afterwards. But wow, forward 3, yeah, maybe he was expecting a leap or something. There's the patience. Full combo off the slide as always. Got him near the corner. This is not a good situation for OmegaK, unfortunately. Oh, blocks the cross up too. Wow. UndeadJim with the knowledge. Tries to check him in the air. Doesn't quite work out. He's going to spend a bomb for the restand. Oh, wow. Where did that even hit? Good stuff from UndeadJim. Oh, catches the backdash. This is not a great situation. It's match point for UndeadJim, and it's one thing Batman does really, really well is just establish that range against someone like the Grodd that just needs to get in. Big plus frames, but again, the patience from UndeadJim, he's not falling for it. Another catch. You see what the mix-up is. The splat actually is a guaranteed trait and just immediately challenged, but he's got a lot of work to do. Whoa, again, the classic Batman. I mean, that wake-up, he's got so many good wake-up attacks that the second you try and sort of meaty him, if your meaty isn't point blank, that up batarang will hit you for a full combo. And that's what we're seeing happen a lot. Nice healthy gem from OmegaK, but still massively down on life. Oh, there's the punish anyway. UndeadJim doesn't let it go quite in time.
Unfortunately, Omega, another drop. I feel like on this tournament setting, like his execution is so on point, but the second the tournament applies, his execution does fail him.
That's going to connect. Was his last bar, but a nice chunk of damage. Has UndeadJim back to the corner. Secret sweep.
Again, UndeadJim can't challenge. He's going to have to sort of time that.
There we go. Another immunity coming through, but UndeadJim, you see the patience. Doesn't want to do anything in the situation that could be dangerous. There's the plus frames. Oh, but no. That opened up, but doesn't have the bar to extend. Will this do enough?
No, not quite. Still a little bit of work to do. Whoa, secret sweep at the last minute. Still a mountain to climb, and with 2 bars down, too.
There's a tough situation. Gorilla Grodd with no wager. Oh, but catches him. Oh, no, he drops the combo.
I don't think he was actually ready for that to confirm. At the last minute, tries to do down 1 background bounce, but don't think he was confident.
Oh, I'll go straight through, but eats a lot of damage in the process. Down 1 coming through. Oh, drops the Stampede cancel, and that's going to be a punish with back 2. OmegaK sent down to losers by UndeadJim. UndeadJim looking strong already.
It's quite, at this stage, I think it's quite a classic tale with Omega, in that his execution really is the biggest fault so far, where he's got the setup, he's got the knowledge, he really sort of knows the ins and outs of Gorilla Grodd, but in a tournament setting, it seems like when he lands the hit, if you're going to play Grodd, and you're going to accept the fact that you haven't got the strongest neutral-value character in the game, but he's very sort of on-hit setup heavy.
Well, I mean,
you've got to make sure you're landing those setups.
You say knowledge. I think out of one thing we cannot forget is UndeadJim and OmegaK are actually training partners. So one of the people that Omega's played the most since the game came out is UndeadJim. So if there's one person that's probably going to know the ins and outs of the Grodd matchup, it's probably UndeadJim. Even little things, right? Like down 2ing out of Stampede cancels when he read a throw, or you know, the patience when he went for the projectile immunity, the knowledge of, you know, when to hold plus frames, when to sort of try and challenge them, and that's definitely what we saw there for the most part. Now we have another American coming up. It's going to be Renegade's Whiteboi with that Scarecrow most likely versus Dissytt TT, who apparently been playing Catwoman and Deadshot.
So Whiteboi, I mean, so far one of the most dangerous players in Injustice 2. CEO 2017 champion, all Scarecrow as well, which is a really big
first
thing.
place CEO, second place Vianality, best Scarecrow player on the planet at the moment, and was always a comfortable Injustice player. You know, Whiteboi made a name for himself in Injustice 1 with Doomsday back in the day, sort of in the early days of Injustice as well, sort of especially towards the later sort of life of the game too. Really sort of came out as a really strong Doomsday player and was regarded as a very, very strong contender. Injustice 2, Scarecrow fits him like a glove, fits the way he likes to play the game, and is a very intimidating character to be on the receiving end of.
A big thing to talk about when it comes to Whiteboi, though, is that he was dangerous in Mortal Kombat X, for sure, but Injustice
is his comfort zone,
yeah,
like 100%.
Very similar to almost like a Honeybee, where Injustice is, in many ways, it's Whiteboi going home. You know, this is where he established a name for himself. Injustice 2 being as big as it is competitively gives a lot of players that sort of debuted on Injustice a way to return and show everyone that this is their game for a reason.
Line checks going in, Scarecrow being, I think in the current patch of the game, being a character that was basically unchanged, has helped him a lot. He was already sort of on the rise before the patch as being, I think, one of the best comeback potentials in the game, I think, but also just having the ability to just deny you beating him whatsoever with just that guaranteed damage you take when he activates his trait. We actually saw him win CEO with that, you know, the damaging aura. Combine that with his just colossal damage output, amazing plus frames, and huge range on his normals. He can be a nightmare to deal with. And immediately, Whiteboi with that pressure, the plus on block string, down 1. I mean, this is the kind of classic Scarecrow where he sort of hit confirms into either grab or the meter burn hook. A very sort of suffocating playstyle. He's got the long range, he's got a lot of plus frames, and the second you're point blank, it's a mix-up between string or command grab, or string into command grab. I mean, it never really ends in some ways. There's that restand, spends the bar, cashes out, there's the splat. What's the Yoki going to be? Delay wake up from Whiteboi, plus frames coming out from Dissytt, challenges it with a down 1. Actually, plus frames being challenged, left, right, and center, and wow, back 3, anti-air, that's going to do a huge chunk of damage. It was good to get the damage, but, I mean, he's lost the corner pressure, now you're back mid-screen, but somehow that both these characters are quite strong, and there's that anti-air, back 3, wow. Comfortable first life bar coming down from Dissytt. Lots of meter built on the side of Whiteboi, though, almost 4 of them, and I mean, Scarecrow with 4 bars of meter, that's plus frames for days, and on hit, a full combo. Push block coming out from Dissytt 2, tries to anti-air with back 3 again, but it's going to work this time, and Whiteboi is pushing closer and closer to the corner, but another meter burn back 3.
He's spending a lot of resources on those. I mean, they are working out for him, but I think he's happily going to accept that in this round, he is so much bar down. 4 versus 1.
It is indeed. So if you do push block Scarecrow now, I mean, it will still get you back to that neutral situation, but you want to make sure you're not blocking anything else. Good spacing from Whiteboi. Again, good block.
That's going to be a conversion into the splat. And now this is where Whiteboi wants to be, having you near the wall, but the escape, wow, another full combo. The Wage is going to give him free health, but he's still going to have his back to the wall.
Lovely use of neutral jump, though, in that situation, just to keep Whiteboi in the corner, but also bait that. I think maybe a command grab read, but Whiteboi pressing the button instead.
A lot of patience there. There's the down 1 check, full combo. Spending another bar to build up some of that traumatize. There's that staggered pressure, there's the block.
Knowing he's going for the push block with those plus frames.
Another push block.
Wow, Whiteboi is just a speck away from having that traumatize. Didn't quite manage to build it.
All he needs is the smallest speck of trait now, and he's got it. Now, Dissytt got to be careful, tries to jump, and that's it. Full combo into the unclashable. And now he's in even more trouble because it was guaranteed. I mean, just a well-played sequence at the very end. I mean, Whiteboi was pretty much on the back foot almost that entire game. And at the last minute, the second he built traumatize, caught him trying to jump, and then that's all he needed. You know, guarantees the trait for the damage over time, and then 1 jump 3 is going to seal it.
What I love about Whiteboi Scarecrow, though, is that you almost would like rather the traumatized stun not be a move at all. Like, he really thrives for the damage over time more than anything else. So as soon as he gets that traumatized, it's likely that he's going to just find a neutral space to use it as soon as possible, just to get access to that damage over time again. So you have to really just expect the traumatize at all, because Whiteboi won't care if he misses that attack. If you block it, he doesn't care. He just wants to give himself that aura back again. But a nice strong lead coming out from Dissytt. Nice corner combo too. Oh no, misses the loop.
Combo was going to scale a little bit more heavily too, because when she uses those whip attacks, they scale quite significantly now after the patch. But I mean, still a good start. Another good start actually, in fact, back to back.
Indeed. There's Whiteboi cornered in the side that won't transition now, so he can keep hold of this a bit more. Whiteboi trying to get his way out with that armored back 3, but gets chewed up straight away. Spends the bar, does Dissytt. There's going to be to the splat again.
Dissytt's in a great scenario here because he's got 5 cat scratches. That's a huge amount of damage if he lands a significant hit, or if he's got bar, plus frames, you know, extending those plus frames.
There's that down 2, preemptive. Plus frames coming out from Whiteboi. Good backdash from Dissytt. Oh, that misses completely.
Doesn't get a full combo off it though. You very rarely see that back 3 get jumped in over. It's got one of the best hitboxes in the game, and another instant air. This is not a great situation for Whiteboi so far, but he's got full traumatize.
Most likely going to lose traumatize at the end of this. At the very least, it's going to give him back to that aura that he wants. But he's going to get a little bit of health back.
Yeah,
it's
gone.
There's the plus frames. Yeah, he challenges it, and Dissytt's going to make him pay.
I actually like the fact that you wake up there, because you have to meet your burn forward 3, and if he's got no bar, what's he going to do to challenge it? He's got a neutral jump, will make it hard read.
Especially if he's right in your face like that. We're going to see a comeback maybe from Whiteboi. It's going to be difficult, but that's a good way to start it.
Now, he's going to have traumatize again very soon. Scarecrow's damage on that is no joke, and hang on. Right, I mean, just like that, Whiteboi's turned it around.
Immediately, I mean, that I said before, Scarecrow's comeback potential is immense. His damage and just his intimidation technique, just to get right in your face. Massive plus frames, massive damage, chip damage. The danger by being near him.
The danger is both times he's had traumatize, he's lost it because of the clash. He's not had the chance to spend it, but in some ways it's beneficial because he wants that damage over time from not having it. There we go. No confirm, wasn't ready for it.
Oh, there's the wake up. Oh, doesn't quite punish it in time. Good blocking the overhead. Oh, and there's the grab. Is that going to do enough? Not quite. He cannot let him activate trait. If he does, he dies. Oh my days! The back 3 anti. I think, is that going to kill? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, not quite. Oh, but the bin! Dumpster to the shins will do enough damage, and that was really well. I actually think that was a good jump from Whiteboi because he was kind of maybe expecting Dissytt to try and stop him activating the trait. I mean, from one interaction to another, such a well-played end to that round. But again, another amazing start. A bit preemptive on the anti-air, though. Oh, good block on the cross-up jump 3. There's the whiff. Oh, tries to punish with down 2, doesn't quite get it. But Dissytt building a lot of bar at the moment. Trying to handy out with that back 3. Doesn't always work out, but not getting punished on block, so it's not a huge issue for him. Another conversion, though. Nice confirm on that jump away from down 1. No fear, just in with a wake up. We haven't really seen Dissytt go for too many wake ups. That was a good call at the last minute. I mean, Scarecrow's the kind of character that you kind of have to be. If you've got an invincible wake up, even if it's unsafe, you kind of have to be willing to do it sometimes because he really thrives on just you blocking yourself to death. Down 1 plus frames. I mean, in that situation, it really is a straight up 50-50. Either he's going to command grab after that plus 6 or he's going to do a string.
Jump 2, still an amazing hitbox button. Oh, no, that must have been an input error, and that's going to be a full combo punish too. Dizzy is going to be regretting that one. That definitely looked like an input error, unfortunately punished just so heavily by Whiteboi. Now he's in the corner, and here come the tick throws. The classic Scarecrow. The toilet is going to take that life bar finished off. Dizzy now has us cornered, but Whiteboi, 2 bars to work with. He's got to be careful here. I mean, yeah, he had no choice. Now, really, White kind of just keep him in the corner. Now, I know what I expect to see out of Whiteboi here, but will we do it? The read is on. Yes, that's exactly what I expected. Whiteboi is content on spending all of his bar to deny you health back. He knows that that damage over time around him, he doesn't want you to get any health back at all, because he wants to just chip you down as much as possible, because Scarecrow has the tools to do it. There's the jumping into back 3. Now, Whiteboi is back in control of the set. It's going to be 2-1 though. I mean, like, it's definitely, you can't really count Dizzy out. Playing super well.
Close games, we could quite easily go down to a game 5 if Dizzy's able to get this one game back, but does he stick with Catwoman? Here's a question. Most likely, yeah. He's now gone for Catwoman. He's going to be stuck to this character for the rest of the set. He's had a good start in every round so far, so I'm going to wonder what's going to happen if Dizzy doesn't manage to get a good start. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to get a nice damage combo. Wow, I mean, that just hurts so much. 523, and keeping the bar as well. I was just about to say, if Dizzy doesn't have a good start, I'd be interested to see how he recovers, and I think this is now that time. Wake up his momentum shift. Oh, there's that raw back 3. Coast to coast, we go from one corner to almost another one. Are we going to see it? There's the splat. Oh, Dizzy a little bit ahead of himself. Yeah, maybe a bit nervous here against one of the world's best players, and you are doing well in this set. Easy for things to set in, and you realize who you're fighting. Spends his trait down. There's a nice patience and wake up from Whiteboi. Oh, big jump from Dizzy. What a read. Launcher. We're going to see enough damage to finish things off. Not quite. I mean, yeah, there's really no reason Whiteboi wouldn't go for that. You understand why? I mean, if he just sits there and blocks, he's dead. Has to try it. No bar on the side of Dizzy, but he has Whiteboi in the corner. Meterless launcher. There's the clash coming out from Whiteboi. Going to win this guaranteed and get himself out of the corner a little bit. But winning this clash, I mean, clashing this early is fantastic for Dizzy, because now at this stage, anything he lands is guaranteed, uncontestable. So Whiteboi going for that trade, just wants to get rid of as much of this life as possible from Dizzy. He just needs to get some damage on Dizzy to make that guarantee, that jump 3. He just has to stand there now. Oh, the traumatized tick, so Dizzy's alive. I actually think traumatized has been a bit of a detriment here for Whiteboi. He's taken a bit of damage. He's going to have it at least right near the end of this round starting. Yes, he does, and Dizzy got hit by it again, not respecting the fact that Whiteboi really favors that damage over time aura. Now he's in trouble, because he's going to get guaranteed plus frames and 3 bars to take him out with. And here we go. Here comes Scarecrow. There's that aura. Now Dizzy has to be really careful. Spends his only bar on a preemptive back 3. More plus frames. Has to push block to survive, but he literally hasn't got a shred of resources. Oh, where did that even hit? Oh, and it's going to work back to back. And that's going to be it. Whiteboi is going to advance over Dizzy. Dizzy fought hard for that, but Whiteboi is going to be advancing in the winner's bracket. I mean, Dizzy played really well, I think. It was really close. We could have gone to a game 5, but it just came down to not respecting the traumatize. I mean, that's a huge element of the matchup. You know, once you see that green icon on the character power, you've got to be ready for it. And especially in that last minute where the round was pretty much finished and he had like a shred of it left. He kind of had no reason not to just use it. Because if you don't use it, you're full screen. I don't think she can really do much about that, especially now she hasn't got armor on Cat Dash. So if he's full screen and it's almost gone, why would he not go for it, you know? Yeah, of course, but I mean, it's what we talked about. There's no reason not to do it, because there's kind of no reason to get hit by it. But if you just make that read that he's not going to go for it now, I'm going to go for a jump, I'm going to dash in, I'm going to forward dash, I'm going to do something that isn't blocking in this situation, and you just get hit by it. I mean, we're already seeing the price you pay, like 500 damage, 400 damage, and that is kind of Scarecrow's meterless launcher, right? Is that traumatized? You build it up, you go for the stun, you turn it into a back 3, you have a long range back 3. But actually, moving on to the next match, before we analyze too much, it's going to be Happypow versus Foxy Grampa. This is going to be quite an interesting matchup, because Happypow is execution god of Happypow loves characters that just press a lot of buttons. A lot of buttons in the neutral, a lot of buttons in combos, a lot of buttons in setup, and fast buttons. And what character is he playing because of that? He's playing Black Adam and the Flash, but at the moment it kind of feels like he's using the Flash a little bit more. He's been playing the Flash. He played the Flash more at Venality, I think. But that being said, Happypow was a very strong Black Adam player from Injustice 1 days, and has already played Black Adam a ton in the Path to Pro Online. Already seen him a ton in various tournaments with Black Adam. But also Flash is what he played the most at Venality. And Venality was the big one. So if there's a character you're going to go to when it comes to like the most serious competitive play, if you went to Flash then, I assume he's probably going to be going to Flash now. However, Foxy Grampa, the the lamest dead shot on planet Earth. And what character? I think Black Adam might be a better pick for that. I mean, it's uncontestable, really, in that Foxy Grampa, I mean this in the best way possible. He does not play for your viewing pleasure, right? He plays for the money, right?
I mean, he plays to win.
He plays to win. He plays to win.
There is so much on the line in the Injustice Pro Series. He's looking good in terms of points now. You know, some good results from this point on.
Foxy Grampa has had a very up
running.
and down time with the Injustice Pro Series in terms of his results. He did not have a great showing at Combo Breaker or CEO. Evo was definitely a good showing for him. Got a nice amount of points there due to how far along the bracket he got. And at Vianality had a very comfortable, I believe it was a 5th place showing at Vianality. So combining the fact that if he places well at VSFighting this weekend and proceeds to do well at the rest of the Pro Series events that he can enter, you know, be it online, be it traveling back to America, he might actually be able to find himself in that top 8 position. But it all comes down to how consistently he can perform. Because he started off very, I think it's fair to say, very lackluster when it came to placements and performances. And progressively, he has gotten better and better every tournament he attends.
I think a big part of Foxy's early shortcomings were down to character struggle. Like many of these players, the game is so early and the Pro Series started so fast after the game's release. Some of these players were kind of having character crisis and they didn't really know who they wanted to play. Foxy 100,000,000% was one of those players. He tried Catwoman at both Combo Breaker and CEO, and clearly Catwoman is not his character in this game. Deadshot, on the other hand, fits him like a glove because it plays very similar to like a piercing Melina, which was the variation that he really forefronted in Mortal Kombat X. Deadshot has a very similar neutral game to that. He plays very similar to the way that she would handle Mortal Kombat. He does the same thing in Injustice. When she would break, he would push block. When she would straight side, he'll go in for straight shot. You know, like it's a very sort of slow and calculated way of playing, but only a player like Foxy can run away with it the way he can. But it took him a while to find that point.
Indeed, looks like Happypow is probably going to be going down to Black Adam, which is kind of, I mean, it makes sense. The way he plays Black Adam is actually quite trap heavy, actually. He goes for a lot of those lightning orb sort of trap setups.
Oh, this guy's, his nimble reptile in MKX was ridiculous.
He was basically the best nimble reptile throughout the entire lifespan of MK, and it's kind of what got him known within the community. But now you go from nimble reptile to Black Adam, that's quite a jump.
And the flash too. I mean, just setup heavy, lots of different buttons here and there, but we'll see the matchup. Does he go Black Adam? He does. Okay, so it's going to be Black Adam versus Deadshot. Foxy's kind of been hit and miss against this character, I think. Happypow also. We're going to see how he does here, but very important match this for both players.
Right, so fight for that first hit is going to be very important. Lightning tries to attempt it.
Now the first hit, not a amount of damage done, but taking that meter away from Black Adam, especially now he does less damage than he did before, very important. It means Happypow trying to challenge the retreat there with Shocker. If Foxy pressed the button, he would have got hit.
Now Foxy really known for just this very defensive style. And Deadshot definitely quite an infamous character at this point, but if you have the neutral of Foxy and a character like this, I mean, that is a recipe for disaster if you're on the receiving end.
Happypow's already taken so much damage already without really yet to do a lick of damage to Foxy. Straight shot, walking straight into it, but the straight shot on hit gives Foxy a great position. Again, very much like straight side in Mortal Kombat when he played Melina.
That's a good opportunity for Happypow. Wow, challenges it with a down one.
Well, you cannot combo meatlessly off a black magic anymore, and Foxy's going to be aware of those changes.
And the patience just slowly walking back. Foxy trying to put as much distance between him and Happypow as possible. And even then, in all the situation, Foxy Grampa didn't open him up with anything major, but look at the meter. Happypow didn't gain any bar from that because it was all chip damage, single hits. He had to use it on meter burn dive kick to get in or low lightning, and Foxy Grampa has almost a full, it actually does have 4 bars now. There's a push block.
Yeah, there's the push block just to remove any of the trait there from Black Adam. Spent the bar on the meter burn low too, and I think Foxy just really content putting up this defensive brick wall. I mean, Deadshot does it better than most. By far the best keep away character in this game.
Oh, for sure. And you can see just this space between them. This is a deliberate space. This is where Foxy wants Happypow to be. And he's making it so hard for Happypow to advance safely.
But the second he sees
that low lightning.
The second Foxy sees trait, he will push block immediately. Like, he wants no partner. And there's a clean punish into the guaranteed straight shot with 2 bars left to work with. This is looking to be a absolutely clean game 1 from Foxy. I mean, that's it. That's Deadshot in a nutshell.
But that's why Foxy plays him, you know, that back 1-2 being that good neutral tool, the keep away, the meter build, the patience, right? Foxy Grampa is a bit of a machine when he plays this character. It's almost like fighting very hard AI. You zig, he zags.
You jump, he straight shots.
Indeed. Happypow sort of thinking about this. Does he want to go Black Adam? I mean, Black Adam used to be an amazing answer to Deadshot, mainly down to the dive kick sort of going over rifle. I think a big one was like he went for rifle, he did dive kick, you do 600 damage. You do crazy amounts of life. Black Adam, still a very powerful character, but took a big damage hit. I mean, let's not forget, he does a lot less than he used to, but he still does a decent amount. I think it goes to show just how much he did before, but losing that damage against a character like Deadshot that just wants to constantly chip you down is a bit difficult. Now, does Happypow go to Flash, or does he stick it out with Black Adam?
The thing is, a lot of Flash players believe that the Flash beats Deadshot 6-4.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there are some Flash players out there that do believe that it's a good matchup for Flash because the second he gets in, he's got a lot of offensive options. But also, it's good advancing speed as well.
Crowd is already cheering for Flash. I think Flash has quickly become a bit of a fan favorite after Evo.
Immediately in with the overhead, that's one big element here. Being able to just simply block and then push block is not as easy against Flash when he's got a true standing 50-50.
Oh, there's that nice meter burn roll into a full combo. There's going to be a full Flash combo. We could see setup. Yes, we are. Yeah, oh, he gets the reset.
There's that reset into overhead, but immediately challenged by a wake up. Happypow trying to get out with backdash. There we go. Here comes the pressure and challenged with another back one. Now, one thing we saw there, that's the change. It was meter drain versus Black Adam. It's blue versus Flash. Every hit will now send him full screen, and he has to do all that work again.
And that's a matchup knowledge. Foxy knowing how the distance he wants him to be at. A really nice, overhead after that meter burn roll. Has the trait too. This is probably going to be death.
That's
yes,
it.
Indeed.
Now, this is a major element. I mean, you land one hit now, and then Deadshot has to hold a 50-50. And then you have the advantage up close. You know, this is a very clean and calculated change in character.
So we can coming through the jump back from Foxy. Running man stance. Happypow trying to be difficult on his way in. Oh, well, that's a grab. I think Happypow was expecting a back one there.
Grabs are going to be really good for Deadshot, I think, because whenever he hits you, you're expecting either the forward two or the back one. You're going to sit there and block.
So that push block again. Anywhere he thinks you're going to be plus, he will push block. This is Deadshot. Look how much bar he already has. I've actually noticed that Foxy won't really meter burn his rifle unless it's going to kill you, or it's like or it's beyond block. I think you would never see him choose to meter burn rifle on hit.
The threat of meter burn rifle, I mean, it does give him so much better full screen options. Backdash gets challenged, another full combo, can't go for a clash here because he has no bar.
That's actually three openings that Happypow's got, and 3 times he's had the trait. That's been really well managed by him. There's that gap. Knowledge from Foxy. Oh, that might have been a clean punish. Inclined to think it was. Meter drain now doesn't want him to have options to that launch. He has 4 bars. He now has a super. Foxy's got to be careful, but there's the wager.
Now, Happypow's going to give himself free health, but they are going to go full screen. This is a good situation for Deadshot. No bar spent at all.
Oh, he's holding on to the super.
That's true. Oh, 2 grabs, whiffed. Yeah, Happypow, he's baiting. He's baiting the button. Oh no! He went for the bait, but didn't get it.
Is that going to kill?
Super?
No, not quite.
Oh!
It's like story mode. You just shot him in the leg. Again.
Twice. But I mean, so what did we just see?
So Happypow opted to not get health back because he wanted to keep hold of the super, because Flash's super starts off incredibly fast and goes full screen. And obviously it's a super, so it's got a hit of armor on it. If you're fast enough, you can react to super from almost anywhere on screen to get a guaranteed, super damage, which at the amount of health that Foxy had left would have killed. But Foxy knew that, he saw the bar and was just looking and was like, okay, right, I see your bar, I see you didn't bet any meter there, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and wait. In fact, I know you're sitting there, so I'm just going to throw you. And that did it. And at the last minute as well, the second Foxy realized, the trick shot. That's the face of a man who's just happy to crush your soul.
That's the face of a man that's happy he plays Deadshot. But anyway, at the last possible minute right there, he acknowledged that Happypow didn't have the health. So he was going to go for the trick shot. If he went for super, he would have ran straight into it, and he would have died regardless. But now, after a situation like that, you've got to be able to recover. Full hit.
Oh, there goes a nice life from Happypow. Into trait again. This is going to be a lot of damage. No, he drops it. Oh, and a wake up. No respect from Foxy.
And if he acknowledges you're going to drop a combo, he's going to run away with that one. I think Foxy actually checking with those back ones, just in case Happypow does a forward dash.
Happypow actually seems to be really struggling with this wake up knee from Foxy. He really is getting a lot of mileage out of it. Oh, it's one way to get in on Deadshot.
I mean, the running man stance does an amazing job of sort of low profiling, but that's it. The forward one, that's 7 frame mid. That's a full combo, catches a slide. That's probably going to be the round.
Oh no, he drops it again. Happypow's execution really is letting him down.
Yeah, and that's it. Guaranteed round. Unfortunately, any damage here that Foxy does is just bonus damage.
Indeed, he has 10 points of health left. Guaranteed anything on block with chips. So he's just going to do as much life as he can. Oh, no.
No,
push block! Push block! He still wants to survive, and there we go. Finally does it. Now Happypow desperately needs this life bar. If he loses this, he will be going down to losers. Oh, creates interactable for rifle shot. No bar was spent, so Foxy doesn't it, but that's a huge, huge on-hit rifle. So Happypow, he can react to the super again, but now Foxy has a lot more health than necessary to take it down. I mean, I imagine we'll see it now. At no point did Foxy extend that. Like, he saw those whiffed grabs, he's just going to stay there, and again, forced to clash. This is a terrible situation for Happypow. He's probably going to spend some bar here, get some health back, but even then, like, we see how much life he's losing on chip alone. This is going to be so difficult for him to make a comeback here. Foxy has no reason not to spend anything. I mean, Flash just has the damage. You just need to have that execution on point to make sure you're maximizing how much you do. It's opened up by the low. Happypow 2 bars, but is he even supposed to do anything with them? We see the explosive bullets locked from Foxy. Any sort of wayward wrist cannon shot is going to send him full screen just like this. Nice,
Actually,
there we go. That would have been much more of a full combo if he wasn't. That would have been much more of a full combo if he wasn't going for the blue bullets. It does adjust the gravity when you take damage there when he goes for the blue shot. Still though, Foxy did have access to his wager.
Oh no,
catches him. That block damage not quite enough, but anything here is going to do it. Reloads, gets over the wake up for whiff. Foxy with the patience. Oh, and there we go. He waits and anti-airs with the straight shot, and Happypow is knocked into losers. Foxy Grampa. I mean, at the last minute, it's very much what Foxy does best, which is, I'm at jump distance, you need to come in, wait for the jump, that's it. Anti-air, straight shot. That's all he needs. And it's a very, very, I guess, clear example of the way Foxy approaches Deadshot as a character. Indeed, and it makes sense as to that's why he plays it, right? That's why he goes to Deadshot. It ticks all the boxes, it does what he wants to do, and he does it well. You know, it's frustrating to deal with. He's a player that almost like plays on your frustration if he knows you're getting flustered.
He's done that for like 6 years.
Exactly, but that's what makes him so good. He is good at recognizing when his opponent is getting flustered or getting... don't want to use the word tilted as such, because that don't make it sound like you lose to him, you just get frustrated automatically. But it's quite easy against a player like him and the characters that he chooses to play to get like that and it get flustered in the moment. And if he feels you're doing that, he will just prey on it, unlike any other, I think. So, I believe that was our last match of this stream. So, Injustice will be continuing later on, you know, at this stage. I mean, we've got some good players decided already. There's been some upsets here. I mean, our first match of the day, Slayer vs. Ixy, still an incredible series. And I think Europe kind of has Supergirl on lockdown at this stage. But while we, I guess, prepare for the rest of this tournament, we're going to go for a bit. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon.